Pirates of the Mesozoic, starring Craig Smith, Donald Von Griffin, Kieran Torres, computer expert Leslie Danneberger, Lloyd Montgomery, me, the GM, Brandon Blackmore. So, last week, I'll give you a brief recap. It won't be as brief as it could be because I wrote a long recap. So, I'm going to give it to you anyway. I wrote it, and I'm going to read it. The Smith gang moves forward onto the causeway to Crag Keep. Along the way, you, encounter several patrols of Dreadguard, but dispatched them with little difficulty. You encountered a few squads of Dreadguard commanders, but even those were no real match for you guys. Halfway to the keep, you ran into a town, which everybody had been turned to stone. You investigated, found a metal and cylinder obelisk, and better safe than sorry, you smashed it to pieces. So, it no longer poses a threat to anyone new who comes to the town, but you have no solution about what to do to the people who are currently in the town and made of stone. And let's see. Oh, you got to the drawbridge, which is a large, scary, face-looking affair where the door is the mouth and the drawbridge is like the tongue, and above it are two malevolent eyes looking at you that are windows. There were two. One might think that. There were two Dreadguard. I'm calling them doorkeepers, but that just sounds so lame.
They were Dreadguard rejects.
No,
they were the most. They were clearly the most fearsome of the Dreadguard you've faced so far. It was only some fast-talking by Captain Harrows that got them to leave their posts, both of them, at the same time, to go find the Hag of Crag Keep, at which point you basically just walked in. However, Crag Keep is enormous. It is huge. It is a huge, multi-towered, sprawling, reaches the clouds thing. And since
Halloween
you knew...
corn maze.
What?
It's a huge, sprawling Halloween corn maze.
All right. But since you knew from previous reconnoitering which room Georgie the piano artificial intelligence was being kept in from the outside, you decided to fly up that way rather than try to find it by navigating the tower, because God only knows how long that would take if you did that. So you get there. Ta-da! You were there. But it's a trap! It's a trap! Orson the Vulture, who I will show you a picture of now, because poor Orson deserved better than he got. That's what I think.
Nope.
Orson the Vulture.
Ugly little spud, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he's like 7 feet tall, so he's not that little. But still, but he stoops, so his head's actually lower than you guys, because his shoulders are actually higher than his head. So he would look up at you when he's talking to you, but physically he's kind of spindly, but he's big. He's big but spindly, or was, because now he's dead. Poor Orson. Anyway, he strung a trap. Canceling all your powers, prepared for every eventuality, except for mental powers that he was not aware of because they're invisible and he didn't see them and never noticed Michael could do them. And so Michael asked him to let everybody go, so he did. And then Michael asked him to answer some questions, which he did. And you asked him if he was trustworthy, which he said he's not. So you killed him. Isco killed him.
Yeah.
Although, if he hadn't, I think, Erlang was oh, he's dead already. Well, snooze, you lose. Anyway.
Yeah, no, okay.
What made it so much fun, it was your typical villain catching the superhero group and then boasting about all the things he was going to do, so that when we got out of his trap, we could foil his evil plans. I loved it.
Well, yeah. Oh, hey.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's dead. Captain Harrows looks at the crew and goes, okay, guys, I know we're not used to actually finding cryptids, but when we do, interview them.
The Dread Guard,
You did.
Door
I would
Okay.
have.
Guardians.
Interrogation doesn't count as interview.
But
Yes,
I
it
wanted to talk
does.
to him
If
anyway.
it's on camera, it's an interview.
Well, I think that was on camera.
Well,
Oh,
you-
Yeah, but we really
My
didn't get
bad.
this story. Okay, like with the Hag. If she sits down and tells us her story, it's a mini series, maybe feature length movie. If not, it's an episode at best. Yeah.
Yeah, we're only getting an episode out of that guy, out of the vulture guy.
Yeah.
When
No,
we actually get home.
Vulture Dude's gonna be like between commercials.
Oh,
He was
so
here.
mean, so mean.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So,
I would love
are
to
you,
get-
is this an in-character conversation that's going on as you're laying there and the corpse of Orson is bleeding out in front of you? So
Huh?
that's fine. That's fine.
I'm
The door.
checking the room myself.
Oh,
I'm actually
Okay.
going to check Georgie.
are you okay,
Who?
Georgie?
We're going to check Georgie out.
Oh,
Yeah, I go ahead and whistle to Georgie.
Ragtime piano. Happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. Ragtime.
Did they remove your singing circuit? Can you not sing anymore?
Well, that was connected to an exterior thing, which was not brought with him.
Okay. Well, that's a problem.
Well, that was just rude.
Yeah.
Georgie will tell Captain Harrows that he believes that his abduction, which is how he phrases it, as an abduction, was spur of the moment. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of thought behind it. Then again, he's a player piano. What does he know? So, Pete, this is kind of important. Let me interject briefly, because before you can get a whole lot of talking done, I want to see what is everybody doing. So, Lloyd said John Erlang is scoping out the room.
Yes, ransacking the room.
Are you looking for anything in particular, or just a general casing the joint?
No, I'm just casing the joint. Look at the
Okay.
place over. Checking
It's
for clues.
it's combination haunted house, Frankenstein laboratory. Yeah, basically that's what's going on. There's stuff that is definitely technological in nature. There's stuff in here from wildly different, not only time periods, but genres. You've got alembics and alchemical stuff and things that are labeled in ancient languages, one or two of which you have a handle on. There's a DNA sequencer that is more advanced than anything in the world you came from. There's all kinds of crazy stuff.
There's a Jacob's ladder in here somewhere too. Going,
Yeah, bzzz, bzzz,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And
doesn't actually
there's
do anything except make buzzing noises and electrical sparks.
Oh no, actually, it's useful as a step-based variable ohm resistor. So,
Well, there you go.
There are actually reasons for having a Jacob's ladder in your circuit.
and there's a couple of Tesla coils
In the days
and
of solid-state electronics, there are no reasons for having a Jacob's ladder in your circuit. But back
there
in
there there is a desk-sized computer with small boxes full of playing cards with tiny holes punched in them. And the computer has blocks of light that are each about like a 1 inch tall by 2 inches wide. And there's like, 100 lights wide by 20 lights down, all different colors, and they flash in what appears to be a random sequence. So there's like that. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. Anyway, so that's your case in joint. Yeah. Oh, and of course you find the secret door that Orson was hiding in when he sprung his trap. Because there's a secret door. There's like a little alcove with like notebooks and scrawlings and things like that. It's not. Some of it pertains to you guys. I'll give you that easily with a quick glance. The stuff on top pertains to you guys. It's got like your name, the name you tell people when you introduce yourselves, when you meet people in a new town, for example. If you introduce yourself as John Erlang, that's the name at the top. If you introduce yourself as Iskolander, the Ifrit, that's what's at the top. So however you actually introduce yourselves out loud is what's at the top of the page. and it's got a brief description, your height, weight, and a list of your powers, but from an outside observer's point of view. So if someone were watching you, it's that kind of description. It's not anything.
My folder's very small.
Hmm?
I'm assuming my folder's smaller than everybody else's.
Under yours it says botanist.
Oh.
That's all. Oh, and weapons. There's like a section for weapons under each, and yours says staff. So it's 2 lines. It's not nothing. Anyway, so there's that, and there's some other like notes and things. There's design notes on the things that he apparently built or built out of other things to trap you and neutralize all of your powers. He's apparently been working on this for weeks. All right, well, there's that. So that's what Erlang finds. Any questions before I move on?
I do have a question for that Erlang should check out. Find the edgelord. See if he's found a way to neutralize the edgelord.
Well,
That would require more time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He very well may have notes on him in here somewhere, but finding it would require more time, and we're doing this right now, and that'll be a later thing.
Okay.
Leslie, what's Michael doing?
Michael's interested in the computer, even though he's not a computer person.
What, the one with the flashing lights, the 1970s computer?
Yeah.
It's not actually a real 1970s computer. It's a computer from a 1970s science fiction movie. Is what that is.
I'm guessing those little playing cards are the things you feed into it to make it do some of the things it does.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with punch cards?
I don't think I have any computer skill.
I mean, you might recognize them if you have any at all.
It's
But
rudimentary, and it means I only have modern day computer.
yeah, you can recognize it as a computer, and you can recognize them as punch cards. But what they actually do, who the hell knows?
And I'm going to go actually study our friend the cryptid more closely.
Oh, he's way dead. So,
I just want to study him. I want to look
oh,
at him.
on his body, there's like a few pouches that have small bags that have like dust in them, and he's got some vials with like colored liquid in them, blue and red, and it's not at the same time. Like some are blue, have blue liquid. Some have red liquid.
I'm going to collect some of those, but then I'm just going to look over his body without doing an autopsy on the spot to see if I can figure if he's a vulture that became uplifted or whether this is a race that we're dealing with. You know what I mean by uplifted?
Like genetically enhanced animal.
Like chimpanzees becoming the Planet of the Apes type of thing. Or whether this is his actual race, if I can figure that out by looking him over in a cursory examination.
All right. Let's see. What would this be? What do you think your relevant skill would be?
I have cryptozoology.
Roll that.
Yes,
Reason plus. Do you have expertise in it?
No, it's just
in science. In science, I mean.
Yeah. No, I just have it listed as a.
All right. 2d6. I roll against you, and let's see what you find by your cursory examination of Orson's dead body.
And of course, I'm collecting some of the stuff that's on him that he's carrying.
Okay.
Looks like a total of 10.
I rolled. Oh, holy moly! I rolled way, way better than you.
Wow.
Oh, I rolled 4 dice. That's why.
Well, that would do it.
That makes a difference. Yes, 10's exactly what you needed. So, yeah, wow, 14 on 3 dice. That's impressive. So
he's not something I can understand right now.
Well, you don't have a basis for comparison.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm. He's interesting, though.
However, you do find one thing. On his back, between his wings, there's a tattoo. It's an M and like some kind of, and it's under feathers, so it's kind of hard to see. You have like kind of part the feathers to like make sense of it. But there's a big block M, and like a slogan of some kind and a couple of numbers underneath that. Are you a football fan?
A little bit, yeah. But I'm
It
more
appears
into
to
the
be a
real
tattoo for the
football
University of
than-
Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Ah, I see.
You do?
I
Might
do.
have been human at one point. My God.
Yeah. Remember, she wants people for experiments. So we have been assuming that these experiments have not been fruitful. What if he is the result of one, and he's just some poor frat boy, and that's why Orson is as dumb as Orson was?
All right, moving on. Dr. Anna, what's she up to?
Well, looking at honestly, everybody seems to be doing anything useful.
You don't have to. You can just hang out and
I'm just
stand
gonna have
guard.
I was gonna say stand guard.
Keep
stand
an eye out.
guard, yeah,
Keep
seriously,
an eye out for
I'm
harpies coming in through that big ass balcony.
Yeah, I'm a stand
Or
guard.
Hag's coming in through the main door.
Basically, hold things in case I need to.
All right. We know Captain Harris is talking to Georgie. That's all cool.
Yeah.
Isco, what are you up to?
Rifling through the body of the thing that I killed. Well, clean my sword first. Rifle through the body, looking for anything valuable or shiny.
All right. You and Michael also were. You and Michael together flipped his body over because it's not that it's very heavy. He's actually much lighter than he looks because he's quite large.
Bird bones.
But he's got very light bones. So
Yeah.
it's not that he's heavy, but he's very
Bulky.
awkward to flip over. So it takes like both of you to flip him over, and you look through
And
him.
he has wings and arms.
Yes, he has wings and arms.
Very
The blue ones are health potions. The red ones are mana potions.
I was gonna say, Michael, take careful note. Nothing known to Earth has wings and arms.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean he ain't from Earth. It looks like he might have been.
Oh yeah, no. Just the skeletal structure and musculature. We ever get home, it'll be definitely worth a few papers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Something that Isco finds. It's try to find something like around the right size. Oh, here we go. It's around. Can you see what I'm holding here? It's about that thick, and about this big, right? So it's quite a bit. It's about the size of a large phone, but it's like much thicker, and it's from within a half inch of the top to the bottom is covered with tiny little buttons. All the ones in the middle have numbers, but around that they have strange symbols. And across the top is a small dark red, looks like a screen.
Like a graphing calculator?
Yeah, like no, not graphing because the screen's not that big, but like a scientific calculator from the early 1980s.
You know, it worries me.
Like a really expensive scientific calculator from the early 1980s. Hewlett Packard. Even says Hewlett Packard right on it.
Oh, okay.
My word.
Yeah.
1980s. That would be about the time where you got the villains setting the death traps and.
All right, so that's everybody caught up to this moment in time, because then something happens.
Well, I was hoping to get a chance to rifle through more of his stuff rather than just talk to Georgie, but okay, yeah. Then something happened.
The door slams open. Big wooden door. I mean, it looks like it would take two of you to like heave the thing open. It's that big. It just boom slams open.
The Hag,
And
because I'm ready to
don't
launch it.
don't interrupt me. It's just a scene. A woman in her late 20s, maybe, dressed pretty much like Morticia Adams, like strides purposefully in, and she's in mid-sentence, and she says, "They're in the castle, Orson. They're in the castle. Keep your damn eye busy." Oh, and she looks at you.
Are they?
I'm glad you're here.
Bee's knees. Order you to freeze. That's what she says. Everybody roll.
What?
I know. Dr. Anna had held action. So if you want to shoot an arrow at her, you can. Dr. Anna's actually ready for something had happened. So Dr. Anna gets to go, and then
Dr.
everybody.
Anna gets even before she finishes her sentence.
What are you going to say?
It's true. Huh?
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I,
I've
no,
got
I,
a- I've got a-
it took me a moment to parse what you were saying, Donald. I heard you though. So, so Dr. Anna goes, and then, assuming she's still alive, she says, "Bee's knees, I order you to freeze." And at which point, everybody will make some rolls. But let's do Dr. Anna first.
I shoot at her.
All right.
Hit her in the head with a brick.
And
Hit her.
by the way, I just rolled 2 5s, so let me look. That's 3 plus.
So that's a 3 plus your power plus your ability.
3 plus 3 plus. So 16.
Okay. We're doing like slow motion. She's like freezes, and she sees you all standing there. Erlang says, "Oh, are we?" And then she's about to say something. Dr. Anna pew, fires an arrow at her. She like flicks her wrist, and there's like a bubble in the air around her, and the arrow goes spang off of it. And then she says, "Bee's knees, order to freeze." Everybody
Now, what are
make
you rolling?
what? Hang on, I'll tell you.
Wait, okay.
Do you have mental resistance? Anybody?
Oh yeah.
No,
Yes,
I know at least one of you do. I think maybe
I do.
two. You do. Okay, Michael
I have
Michael
a point
does.
I can spend on it.
No.
All I had to do was
yes, I do, Brandon.
Put it on your list of things to buy. Okay, if you have mental resistance, add your power to your roll. If you don't, you only add your presence to your roll. So if you have mental resistance, is hang on. It's also let me back up, because you're rolling, and I haven't told you how many dice to roll yet. So
Oh, okay.
if you don't have mental resistance, it's presence. If you do, it's presence plus power. Now, if you have mental combat as a skill, 2d6. If you
Which I
don't, 1d6. So,
And I think
now
I
that you
have
know
it
what to
as
roll,
an
everybody roll.
And I have it as an expertise.
Holy, mental combat? Okay, you reroll your 1s and 2s. So, I have a feeling Michael is not going to be affected by the hold person spell.
My total is 11.
I rolled a whole 9.
Really? Holy smokes.
Which is better than my 8.
Boxcar on my single die.
And my 6.
And I rolled a whole 18.
I am astonished. I rolled fairly well. Even Michael is frozen in place.
Wow.
So that's I'm frankly I'm astonished. So that's well, I mean she'll get to live long enough to talk to you.
Well,
That's always good.
Yeah, because otherwise she's basically asphalt at this point. So
Yeah, there's no way she can fight all of you. I mean,
Can we
effectively.
still
I mean,
speak?
hey, I was going to pretend I was frozen anyway because I don't need to move to use my mind.
you're sneaky.
you don't have to pretend.
Anyway, she walks up to you like she's kind of surprised you're there already. Like, how the hell did you get up here so fast? And then, of course, she looks past you to
You don't
the.
have a picture of her?
Huh?
You don't
Oh.
have a picture of her?
Yeah, I was going to show you what she looks like.
You've got a picture of everything else. So
I got a picture of everything. Yeah, there you go.
By the way, can we speak or are we petrified?
Actually, let me double check. I think you can talk, actually. I mean, the normal way it works is prevents target from moving or taking any actions. So you can't move and you take an action. But I'm going to say the way that her spell works, you can talk. So
Okay.
anyway, so that's what she looks like. And she looks puzzled that you're here. And then she looks at the balcony behind you, and she's like rolls her eyes, like, oh, Jesus Christ. All right. And then she walks up to you, like, and it's not hostile exactly. It's more like, I've caught a car. What do I do with it? It's like that kind of look. And then she passes the edge of the great big 70s computer, and she sees dead Orson on the ground, and she loses her shit.
Oh, I bet you they're from the same college.
Like
Betcha.
her mouth drops open, and she like touches him and he's way dead. And she's like, "You killed him, you psychos! He was real. You killed him."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so unfortunate, but he was planning the same to us, and I look. I
no,
really
he
don't
wasn't.
Want to have, I really don't want these people to have to kill you. So please, can we talk?
I should turn you inside out.
Right.
I should turn you to stone. Crap.
Do you know who
And
I am?
she starts. She's kind of half paying attention to you, and goes back to focusing on Orson. She's like, "You dum-dum! You knew how dangerous they were!
Oh, yeah.
Why did you do this?"
Brandon?
At him, not
Can
at
I
you.
do something semi-harmless like emotion control on
No.
her?
No, you can't
can't?
take
I thought
actions.
you said I could
However,
do-
it's been long enough you can roll to try to break out. So,
I mean, that's not revolving paralyzation. My mind is not paralyzed.
well, it's still an action. You just got to do it.
Okay.
But however, you can roll to break out. It's been long enough. You get a roll to break out every turn, so.
Okay. Because I just
All
want
right.
to put her down.
To break free. Oh, wait, darn it. This is regular hold. I made this mind hold, didn't I? Yeah, I did. It's not regular hold, it's mind hold. So let me go look at what that is. Okay. We rolled the correct dice to freeze you. To break out. Actually, you roll the same thing the first time as you to break out as you do now. So
Okay.
if it was one dice, it's one. It's two, it's two. If you have mental resistance, you add the
Since
power
my
level.
max is 9. Is it worth even to try?
I
Because
rolled a
that's
10.
what I rolled. I rolled my max.
Really? If you
Yeah,
can't roll at least a 14, you will not break out.
I rolled
Yeah.
I'm not rolling anymore.
I rolled 16.
Nope, I rolled a 10, and my maximum is 13.
My max
Not
is
14.
9.
And I get to re-roll that. So that's 11.
All right, I'll be right back.
So Michael actually gets free this time.
Wait, what'd you roll, Michael?
16.
No, you're still stuck. No, she rolled a total of 22. Does that make you feel any better?
Ow!
I thought you said it was 14.
That's the minimum.
Oh, the minimum. Okay.
Oh, 14 is her minimum.
Wow.
Holy
Actually, I misspoke. It's not. Her actual minimum is because she has expertise, so she rolls ones and twos. So it's 18 is her minimum.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to calm her down.
She's currently cussing out Orson.
Oh.
She's so mad at him. She calls him a dum-dum several times.
Language, lady, language.
And she looks at you people and she says, "What do you even want?
We just want our friend Georgie back.
Who the hell is Georgie?"
The piano.
Yeah. He didn't want to come here, and you basically kidnapped him.
Yeah, that was mean.
It's a piano.
It's
No,
an
no.
intelligent being.
He's Georgie. Georgie is a person, as you and I are people.
Oh, I would really love to kill you now.
Look.
Just want Georgie back.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We have not been introduced. You probably know I am Captain John Harrow. I only know you as the Hag, and that is a really terrible thing to call someone. What did you, Morgana, Victoria? What should I call you?
Billy.
Billy?
Wheels turning around and around. Go back, Jack. Do it again. And then the lights. There's a bright light and a moment of disorientation. Then, Dr. Anna, Isco, and Michael are standing on the balcony, and then John Erlang lands with Captain Harrows and one of his automatons, the big one. I don't even remember what he. Oh,
yeah, it was one of her guys' armor.
With a couple of your automata in it, making it work.
Right,
yeah, all right.
Right.
Anyway, and then John Erlang lands carrying.
Just in case we needed an escort.
Right, and John Erlang lands carrying Captain Harrows and the Dreadguard automaton.
And we know what we know?
Yeah.
I look at everyone else. It's a trap.
You think?
Yeah.
Tip, at least don't kill Olsen this time.
This
Apparently,
isn't going well for her, is it?
What, killing Orson's the first thing on my list.
I
Right over there. I mean, it shouldn't be all that difficult.
Now, let's.
You know exactly where he is.
As we capture him, we know that she's going to be coming in to talk to him. We set a trap for her. We capture him real quick. We set a
You
trap
might
for her.
remember
We know
too.
where he's coming out of. This shouldn't be difficult to do without causing death. That means we don't get the interviews we desperately need.
There's a fiery cloud of smoke goes foosh in the middle of the room, and she appears. Next to her is this guy.
That might be the other one we were talking to. She remembers. That's why she did it.
Besides, cool time abilities.
Yeah, really
Okay,
cool.
not this one. All right, next to her is this guy who's just a little bit taller than, like 6.5 feet tall. Did I do it? No, here we go. That.
Ooh.
We should have done it.
Ooh!
Holding what looks like a blaster rifle.
Oh, aren't you gorgeous?
Ignoring you for the moment. Wait, are you gonna like immediately attack her? Because if you do, we're gonna like do an initiative thing. But if not, she's gonna do something, which is not an attack. Which is why we're not rolling initiative yet. So what do you
No,
want to do?
I want to keep this on talking terms.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Isco, Erlang, what are you doing?
Our way didn't work, so let's see if their way does work. Okay, let him talk.
Okay.
So you're not attacking? Just checking.
Correct.
I'm
Not
not
attacking. I
I'm
go,
not
oh,
attacking, I
good,
went-
you're here. And nobody's dead, and nobody's killing anyone yet. Thank God. Now we can start from a fresh slate and actually get this done. I'm terribly sorry.
Ignoring
what
you for the
happened,
moment.
And I hope that you can apologize as well for your
She
actions.
faces, that side of the room, and she says, "Orson, get out here now, you dum-dum."
Yeah, you were about to get yourself killed. I know, right? What can you do? Anyway, so
Just
what I have in mind here, can we talk? You're not going to like freak out on us and attack us or anything now that we're all here, right? We can talk. This is a peaceful meeting.
Oh,
right?
we're going to talk, all right.
Yes.
We're going to have a
no.
long talk. Orson, get out here! And the door opens up. He says, I had a whole plan. Why'd you ruin it? I was going to trap them. She's like, you just don't even know. Go, just go hang out with Seymour. And he's like, yes, mistress. And he goes off and he does this thing. And turns back to you guys. Assuming you don't kill him on his way out.
No.
I have no reason to. I never did have a reason.
I mean, you can. It can't stop you, really. Clearly.
I had no reason to in the first place.
Yeah, there's
Hey.
3 of us who are like, nope, not planning to do that. I want to see where this goes, anyways.
Yeah. Now, can we be friendly or do we need to be controversial here?
Red Eye, if any of them move against me, kill them. By your command. And it takes up like a defensive posture next to her. Talk.
Please. Enough with the toys. I have plenty of them of my own, as you can see, as her Dreadguard armor walks in and.
Okay, blink.
So, let us talk, shall we, Billy?
I think she said Philly.
I'm John.
Billy with a B.
B.
Billy. I'm John.
I know.
Dr. Anna.
I know who all of you are. I've been watching you for weeks. You want the piano. Why?
Piano
What are you going to do with it?
No.
Piano.
We don't want the piano. The piano is his own person, and we wish to oblige in his wishes. He is our friend.
Artificial AI, artificial intelligence to a point where it actually has sentience.
It's not real.
He's a person.
It's not real any more than the people in the town with the orcs you were talking to are real. They're not real.
They're all. Are you presuming this is a dream?
Oh my god, you people are so dense.
Or a stage show.
Earlier you said Orson was real. What do you mean by real?
Orson's real. I'm real. You're real.
Right. Okay.
There's a few other people here who are real.
Edgelord is real.
Unfortunately.
He's a real jerk, but he's real.
Yeah.
Right. I see.
I see what she's referring to.
Those who have gone through the change during the change storm are the people that you deem as real.
Because they're from the real world.
And
And
so
those who
Georgie,
have not, you do not consider real.
No, they're just characters.
What year was Nixon impeached?
How would I? 1970 something?
That's a certain date. She's
Okay,
not gonna
Okay.
know
No.
that.
Wait.
She says 1970 something.
What year was 902? What year did 90210 hit the years?
Oh,
I don't
God.
even know what that is.
I don't even know what year that was.
Okay. What year?
I'm getting really tired of this.
I'm trying to figure out.
She looks over at Dr. Anna and she says, "You're the smart one, right?"
I'm trying to figure out if we're from the same reality.
There's only one reality.
Actually, no. There's multiple. We've actually figured out there's multiple realities. We're all
Yeah,
from
membrane
different
theory.
timelines, and not only are we from different times, we are also from different universes.
Well, that's just dumb.
Oh no, it's not.
can I ask a question?
Membrane theory rather than string theory.
Yes.
She looks over at Michael. She says, "Sure, what?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you play Dungeons and Dragons? Is that what you think is happening here?
No, not a nerd.
Or what do you think is happening here if you think these are all characters?
I don't know exactly how this happened. Okay? But I've been here a while. Longer than you. And we're real. There's people from the real world here. And then there's characters from a whole bunch of fictional stories here. And real people, when they come here, kind of combine with a fictional story.
Oh,
I didn't look like this in the real world. Orson sure as hell didn't look like that in the real world.
no, obviously he was a football player, wasn't he?
No, he's a stock boy.
Stock boy. Why does he have a jersey? You know,
No,
him
he
in
was
Florida?
just a big football fan.
Oh come on, honey.
Oh, the tattoo.
I was touching.
No. Oh, God. God, please don't mention football to him. He'll never shut up.
The football people are
So,
their own
what
kind.
did you do? What did you do in the real world?
I managed. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. What matters is
Wait.
you're here in my castle attacking one of my dum-dums.
Right. Well, no. We came here with peaceful intention. Your guys kept attacking us.
We
Were you
did
invited?
knock on the door and ask.
We knocked on the door. All we want to do is make sure that you understand the difference between polite and impolite. And it seems that you do. You just don't understand that fictional people are real too.
Here they are anyway.
They have lives. What
You're
about
insane.
the-
Who hasn't
what
talked
about
yet?
the-
Isco.
what about the
Isco. She turns to Isco and she says, "Are you insane too? Do you buy this?" Gesturing at Captain Arrows, dismissively.
Huh. Well, seems real enough to me. I don't think I'm insane.
Isco is Tandy real. A Depression era, Prohibition era bartender in the middle of an Old West town.
Yeah, seems so to me.
Tandy's real.
What?
That
Yeah.
means, yeah.
And since Edgelord's real and he
Well,
can
yeah, people that we've met along the way, they seem real enough. That's because they're not like us doesn't mean they're not real, right?
She
Yeah,
says some kind of rhyme about walking free or something like that, and you're not held anymore. And she goes, "He's still going to kill you if you attack me," gesturing at what she called Red Eye.
Me too.
So,
Okay.
Okay,
But-
as long as nobody's attacking.
I have no intention of doing you harm, as long as
Good.
you have no intention of doing harm to us or those that we deem our friends. because we protect our friends. We are from a polite. What time are you from? I'm sorry. What year are you from?
I think I've answered all of that kind of question that I want to.
1970s, I believe.
So
Okay, we're from 2019, and we're TV stars. I've been on the air for 10 years.
TV stars with some of us having doing other being.
Well, yeah, some of us are much more advanced than simple television stars.
oh my god, I'm gonna get a migraine. You want the piano? Fine.
Yeah.
I'll make a deal with you for it.
I'm not inclined to accept any deal, but I am willing.
Captain, for once in your life, quiet.
Oh, what is your what is your offer?
There's something else I want that I haven't been able to get. I will trade you the piano for that. I think you could get it. You've got enough people, and you can do interesting things.
What is
it? Who owns it? And what is their claim on it? Because
and if it looks like a human, I'm not going after it.
You ain't getting it. People are people.
Yeah. We've already determined the people we've actually had to put bandages on are living people.
They only look like living people. She turns around and yells, "Orson!" And it kind of like makes the castle reverberate a little bit. And a couple seconds later, he rushes in the door. He's like, "Yes, mistress." He's like, "Give them a drawing of the Eye of Odin." He's like, "Oh, mistress, you can't mean it." And she's like, "Oh my god, just shut up and do it." And he goes into a pile of things, and he brings you like a sketch, like a Leonardo da Vinci style sketch of like a round platform with another circle perpendicular to it, with like a lot of little lines coming off of it and some notes and sketches, and off to the side there's like a box. And she hands that to you. What?
It's a Stargate.
Oh, actually, I hadn't thought of it, but it does look kind of like that. Yeah.
Well, that's what Michael's actually going to say. It's a bloody Stargate. You watching science fiction?
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it. What it's labeled is the Eye of Odin.
Yes.
So that's what I want, and I'll tell you where it is. And as far as I know, no one has a claim on it. It's just in an area I don't want to go. So.
If we point, is it big enough that it's going to take more? It's going to take somebody who's strong and can carry something that because it sounds.
I've seen your machine. It'll fit on the back of it.
Okay.
And can we just so you know, we actually can maybe even possibly be able to bring it to you. Why do you not want to go in that area?
I have my reasons.
I'm sure you do.
We must not want it very much if you think you're hoping that whatever's in that area will kill us.
Do you want the piano or not?
Yes.
Georgie is coming home with us, whether you want him to or not. We made this
Let
favor.
her have the bloody Stargate. If she wants to step through it, more power to her.
I mean, are you talking about getting home? Is that what this is all about?
We've discussed that as much as we're going to. Do you
about
want the piano? I'll destroy it right now.
Okay, how about a location?
And then we kill everybody and raise the place to the ground and leave no two stones touching and all of that good biblical.
Is that really a fight you want to start?
Let's not go that direction,
Captain, let's go hunting for the bloody Stargate. It might be fun.
Yeah,
I'm inclined to help you, but you have to understand that Georgie is not a bargaining chip. Georgie is a person.
As everyone's arguing with...
Georgie is going home when we head off to do this thing for you.
What's this go? What's this go have to say?
With Emo Girl, which I actually have no problem with. I'm quietly, discreetly sidling over to John Erling. Sam was having.
Sidestep. sidestep.
Erlang is literally standing there this entire time. He's not looking at anybody. He's not moving his head. He's just waiting to see what happens.
So we
And
are
when there's a big enough lull in the conversation, or he figures the conversation has gone on long enough, he's going to start killing things. And until that happens, he's just going to wait.
Oh, so I'm trying to get there before that happens.
but what I want to say is Georgie is not a bargaining chip. He's going home where he can play for the crowd like he wants to. And I think we are going to attempt this thing for you, right, guys? Because this sounds like fun to us.
Actually, yes, I think that's a fair thing. The sheer fact that we're willing to attempt it should be sufficient for you to return Georgie regardless.
And do be sure to hook him back up to his vocal circuit. I know he loves a good accompaniment. The occasional a cappella measure, there's really no beating it.
Mom, why don't you just bring Georgie?
By the way, Brandon, I'm going to give a whistle to her guard and see if he's like someone I can, grab control of or not. Or at least...
Do other people see it when you do, or hear it, or experience it somehow when you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Actually found a good picture of the thing she's describing as the Eye of Odin. Hang on.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try my basically a very, very polite machine control.
Basically, you're gonna poke it. Think.
Yeah, poke it in the eye.
Yeah, no, basically a polite handshake.
Let me see which of these is bigger. Oh, this is good. All right, this is basically what the drawing looks like. Okay, so I'll share this with you. Although it's black and white and looks like something Leonardo da Vinci might have drawn, but that's what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
And there is actually in the drawing, there's a person next to it for scale, just like that.
Yeah.
That's a bloody Stargate.
Alright, so do you have a map to go with that picture, or directions or something?
What does Isco say to John Erlang? Because that's happening in the background here.
I was just going to ask that.
That basically a whisper. Does that pad have info on her?
Sorry, say that again, Greg.
Exactly. Does that pad have info on her?
He's had enough info on her. He wants to know if he can kill her yet or not.
That thing that
the notes he found on you guys, you mean?
Yes.
You haven't had time to look for notes on things that were not on top. So if there were any, you didn't have time to look for them.
Okay.
I'm not saying there aren't. There might be.
But I don't know if John has, and also just mentioning it. That's all.
Fair enough. All right. Somebody who's like the most diplomatic person here.
I think that's either me or you.
I have diplomacy, but don't have expertise. But I do have expertise in culture.
I have diplomacy, no expertise, and a 3 in the attribute.
Anybody who's got the highest presence?
I have a 3.
Same.
It was 2 presents, but I have diplomacy with expertise.
Oh. Well, I think Isco wins.
Yeah.
We've got the extra present. So, of course, I could always... Oh, Isco.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do a threat style, you could probably do a flare with ultra power to do an ultra presence and add your power to your presence on.
I also took fascinating gift, which I wonder if that would have any effect.
Ooh,
She's kind of jaded to that kind of thing. I mean, wouldn't you be if you lived here? So
yeah.
All right, so let Isco roll, and versus her, and this is just a normal 2d6 presence roll for diplomacy. I rolled well.
11.
Normally that wouldn't have made it, but there are 5 of you. So I'll give you a bit of a nudge for that. Okay, so just fine.
Do I need to
God,
pick
shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Yes, you can take the piano, okay? But you have to promise to bring me the Eye of Odin or do your very best trying.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
sounds like a fun challenge, anyways. Location, map, something.
I'll give you
promise
maps, fine.
to try my very best to retrieve the Eye of Odin from its location.
And bring it to me.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Sure.
That is the promise. Yes.
Yeah, he's being snaky. She points it.
Yes, I am. Because you see, like Georgie, the deal sounds a little fishy.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, do I get any response from my whistle to the to Red Eye?
Oh, you tried talking to it?
Yeah.
It doesn't want to talk to you. What it really wants to do is exterminate all organic life.
It's a berserker.
Somehow, it has locked on to her as the person who tells it what to do, and she's told it basically to only kill people she tells it to kill. And if you could find a way of removing that restriction, it would be very, very happy.
Okay.
It's also weirdly it's like high functioning. Let me think. To put this into like human terms, it's a very high functioning autistic artificial intelligence. It's actually computationally very advanced. I mean, it can calculate trajectories and all kinds of crazy things. Its memory is probably on par with Georgie's, but what it thinks about and what it wants to do is actually very simple. All of that computational power is all devoted to the extermination of all organic life.
Okay,
So-
there's no way I can
Reprogram
extra
them.
code even with like an 18.
No, the best you're going to get is to subvert her control, and then you're the one telling it who it can kill and who it can't.
Don't.
Well,
But
that's
it will
not
try
much.
the entire time to break out of that.
I think you need to
Yeah.
reprogram it first. before
We
you
would
let it
we would
go.
have to kill it right after it kills her. I
Let's
definitely
just find a bloody Stargate, and her and it can go through it.
Yeah,
I'm all for giving her the damn Stargate.
yeah. If it comes down to it, we know what to do. But then we got to take it down.
Let's take
By the way,
it
I'm not saying this in front of her.
I get it.
So he can do what he wants to do.
Okay.
Let's get Georgie home. Let's go look for this stupid thing.
Yeah. And she lets us go and start our quest?
Well, let's take Georgie home first. That's what she agreed to let us do.
Excuse me.
We'll break Georgie loose. And...
I can't find a
by
fun.
the way, who crucified the bear in the haunted forest?
Are you asking her?
Yeah.
She goes, how would I know? It's a haunted forest.
Or is it none of you guys did that to try and freak anybody else?
It's a haunted forest. It's what it does. Anyway, she says some kind of rhyme to the piano, and the chains just kind of go zip, 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 and disappear. And she goes,
I tell her, well, it doesn't do it very well. And I present the crucified bear that goes, roar! You see, now that's haunted.
there is something so wrong with you. Take your piano, go, bring me the Eye of Odin.
Okay. Now remember, the people out there are real people. They are not fictional characters. You are not to go poisoning them, killing them, turning them to stone, doing things like that. We want to be polite neighbors from now on, right?
I'm the bad guy.
Clearly.
So
Yeah.
you want to play it that way?
Yep.
We're not going to be friends.
Oh my god, you are so dense. How many people died in that town? When it poisoned the grain, how many people died?
Lots.
No, like none.
The
You saved
poison
them.
grain?
No,
Yeah.
they didn't.
Because
We
I know what
killed it.
ergot poisoning looks like because I come from Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We cured that.
Yeah.
How many
You saved
people
them all.
How many people have died from being turned to stone?
They're not dead. They're turned to stone.
And if you've tested unturning them to stone to see if
Oh,
they still
Jesus
have
Christ.
it.
She walks out to the balcony and shouts, and again it kind of like makes the castle echo. Sharon! Stupid bat! And there's a... I got a picture of this too. Yay! Oh, that's a spider.
Well, I lean over to John again and I say, hey, if we can keep her from speaking, I think we may be able to defeat her.
This.
Spells
And-
require gestures, verbal component, or material
Now
components.
that's cool.
Cool.
Oh,
In
yeah.
her case,
And this is easily twice as big as Orson. Easily.
That is cool.
And it lands and says, yeah? And she goes, get one of the stone people from the town, bring it here, don't break it. Can you do that? Get a person from the town and break it. No. Get a stone person, bring it here, don't break it. Get a person and don't bring it here. She like grits her teeth.
She is a
Go to the
storybook
town.
villain, out of character.
Get
She
a
is totally a storybook villain.
Now I can see why your
Play
temper's
with the stupid minions.
Mhm.
get a stone person. Put them right here,
intact.
Without
intact. And the back. Oh, okay. I got it. I'll be right back.
I look
I
over.
can see why your temper's so short.
Sharon was a cheerleader?
Cashier.
Actually,
That year.
she's accusing everybody else of being storybook, but she's behaving totally like a storybook villain, including all the stupid minions.
We all came here together.
Gotta work on this.
We all came here together. I was in charge of them in the real world. I'm in charge of them here. They got more powerful. They didn't get any smarter. Actually, Orson got smarter.
Okay.
But-
Job coach.
What?
All the rest of them got stupid. Or were stupid, huh?
Upper management or
No. How do you even get you get me talking on this? No, we're not talking about that. So just stand back. And a few minutes later,
it wasn't a hot topic, was it?
there's a and grasped in its feet the gigantic
Really,
bat.
please tell me it wasn't a hot topic.
Might
We are
have been.
not having this conversation.
Oh my
Um,
god,
Leave her alone,
clunk,
leave her alone.
I'm
clunk.
so sorry. You have my condolences.
The bat puts down a stone statue of a woman holding a basket. The basket's straw, I mean, it looks like it's made out of straw, but it's also stone. All of her clothes are stone. So, and the basket's stone. The ribbon in her hair is stone. Out she goes. Okay, stone character, not a real person. A character,
No,
Okay.
a person,
but
a real person.
not
People are
dead.
real.
And she said something like, stone to flesh and flesh to stone. Stand around and walk alone. And she turns to a normal person, screaming, "No, look out! Wait! And she like stumbles backward and stumbles forward and what happened?
Okay, well, ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you, but there has been a tragedy. But you're okay now. We're going to take care of you. But there have been some problems in your village. You may have to find a new village to live in. And
There was a strange device, and we all heard it, and people went and looked, and then everyone started turning to stone. And at which point, the Hag of Crag Keep says a rhyme, something like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but they can't break if you turn to stone. And she's back. She's turned to stone again. Okay, so you can see, not dead, right?
Okay.
Okay. But
Not
You are
dead.
very good at introducing bargaining chips. I commend you on that.
Okay,
What are you
let's
talking
take
about?
care of the bargaining chip we have now.
Oh, honey, if you're going to play the game, keep up.
Captain Harrows, we can talk about bargaining chips later. Let's take Georgie home and let's go look for the bloody thing she wants us to find. Okay?
Right.
I agree. Now, Tranquility's safe from you, right? You're not going to come messing with the tail of Tranquility. You're not going to...
If you do what you've agreed to do, I won't have any reason to, unless they get something else that I want.
And then just ask for it, okay?
I
Instead of
did.
trying to take it. Well, this one you couldn't have.
well, this
No,
one
I
said-
very distinctly asked for it. I wrote a message in the sky.
Yes, but you did not offer something equal in trade.
Why would
Like, you know...
I? All right, fine, whatever.
Something else.
Great.
We'll talk
Is
about.
I'm sure you could have come up with an iPod that would have done exactly the same as a player piano. And Tandy might have been impressed enough to do the trade. But you would...
I don't think that would have made Georgie happy. We want to make Georgie happy. He's got to.
Right. I'm just trying.
you people are driving me crazy. Would you just go? Just go.
Let's go.
Just go.
We'll talk to her later.
In the house, and I think that should continue to play it.
What's happening with Greg?
Georgie, Are
Greg?
we flying Georgie back to the vehicle?
Yeah, I'm here. USB problem.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. Just go. Just go. Oh, Orson, do you have the map? And he's like, yes, mistress, I have it. I have the map. Are you sure you want to give it to them, though? I don't think they can be trusted. I have a feeling they mean to do me harm. And she's like, oh, you dum-dum. She takes the map, hands it to you. It's not extremely detailed, but it gives you like a very loose idea. Like, here's the Crag Keep, and here's the something else that the town, the fairly new town of the futuristic settlers. It's not on there. But the forests are on there, and the haunted forest is on there, and there's like a valley, and then there's what is clearly a nose drawn on the map, and past that there's what looks like a bunch of buildings leaning over and on their sides, like dominoes, like.
Okay.
And
Are the crashed spaceships there?
No.
Okay.
The crashed spaceships were more recent. It's only like 6 months ago, so they're not.
No, that's. I just want to make sure before my last words are. By the way, your map's out of date.
Anyway,
And then soon we fly off.
and there's a red X over the far left of the domino
All right.
toppled buildings. She says it's in that building.
Question.
Okay.
How much does Georgie weigh?
Pretty heavy, I'd imagine. But you can with your size matters now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, someone with flying can carry you, and you can TK Georgie, and we can...
You work it out.
Yep.
Oh, she says, watch out for the harpies.
Yes, they're annoying.
Oh, they'll tear you to pieces.
Well, you.
Let's go. Enough said. We'll watch out for them.
So you take Georgie and you leave?
It's good. You want to do the same thing you did before to distract the harpies, and then the rest of us can make a break for it.
Yeah, Isco?
Yeah.
You want to be the flaming harpy bait? Throw 'em away, and
Sure. Why not?
well, and then we run it down. Do we really need to roll for that, Brandon?
No.
Okay.
No, you did before. It's not a big deal. All right. Shortly after you leave, you hear the distant screech of Say more!
But yeah, and by the way, my parting comment before I leave is, by the way, your map's pretty out of date.
Do your best. Unreasonable people make life so difficult.
I agree.
I know, and to think, I could have just had Red Eye Killer right there, but I didn't. Yeah.
People do realize we're going to have the exact same problem with her that we had with Seymour.
Yeah.
Her perspective is so fundamentally different from ours. We are never going to convince her that anything we say has any value or weight whatsoever.
Oh, you mean Edgelord? You mean Edgelord?
Yeah, Seymour.
No.
No, Seymour's a different guy.
Oh, okay. Whoever Edgelord.
Whatever his name was.
Cecil?
Seymour is a black spider.
I think his name's Cyril.
Cyril.
Yeah.
Cyril. I had it right the first time. Yeah.
Cyril.
Yes, her perspective is so completely and utterly skewed. We are never going to actually see eye to eye with her on anything. I'm
afraid we may have to kill everyone and raise the place to the ground. Did you want me to do that before we left? Because I could have.
May I make a comment on that one? Why don't we just give her the doohickey she wants? If it really is a Stargate and it really is from a storybook, then she can go play with the Goa'uld.
Well, first off, your argument there is kind of flawed because you think it's a Stargate and nobody else does. It's It's not a Stargate, so we have no idea what it does.
May not be, but
the problem is that the next time we see her, I can get her main guard to go ahead and shoot her in the head. The difficulty on that is going to be keeping it from shooting everything else on this planet in the head.
Reprogram it. You could probably do that.
Tougher than it sounds.
Then don't do it.
She's concerned everybody else on this planet are bugs except us.
I'm saying
so she's never going to alter that point of view.
Yeah,
we have with Edgelord. Edgelord thinks everybody else on the planet are bugs, and he's fully justified in killing them all.
So do I turn?
I'm just mentioning
the Terminator.
No, I didn't do anything to her the second time around. So let's go play the game her way.
Right. I'm just saying. The next time we meet her, do I turn the Terminator loose and then deal with it after it kills her, or do I leave the Terminator under her control? I really didn't get a chance to ask this time because I didn't want to let her know about that.
All right, so where are we going?
Let's take Georgie
back
home.
to Tranquility. We are taking Georgie to the Crawler and the Crawler to Tranquility.
When you get to the Crawler, and I'm going to say that with ISCO's running interference, you can actually fly just over the treetops to the Crawler. There's
lose their punch after the first time anyway.
Yeah. As you fly over the trees, you can see that some of the trees are moving, but other than that, it's fine. So,
very Macbeth.
Let's see what else is going on. Oh, so you get to the Crawler. You put Georgie in the back, you strap him down, etc. You get ready to drive back.
Is the P-40 still there?
What?
Is the P-40 still there?
No, it is not.
Oh, okay.
No. And Captain Harris discovers that the gas tanks on the Crawler are nearly empty.
He landed to siphon gas? I found that highly amusing.
And the minions that were left behind, the automata that were left behind, report, we guarded the land crawler while you were away, Captain. Everything went exactly as planned.
Including somebody siphoning away our fuel.
Yes.
How was that part of your plan?
No, not our plan. Your plan.
Not my plan.
It's not our. No, it's not. No, they're all uniformly agreed. Your plan.
Okay. Okay.
We did a good job. We should be rewarded.
So what I need from this future settlement now is vegetable oil.
Yeah, they have some, sure.
Yeah. Fill up the tanks.
There's a cargo container sized. What's essentially a food truck,
Yeah.
but it's a cargo container. And yeah, they've got like gallons and gallons and gallons of used oil. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
sure.
as long as it's not computer controlled anymore, it'll run on anything. I used to run my old VW Rabbit on vegetable oil all the time. It smelled like a steakhouse.
Well, I will suggest, Captain, next time you give them orders, make sure of the way you worded it. Can you remember how you worded it?
He's gonna lock in gas cap.
Let's put it this way. I am not a specialist in artificial intelligence. I would call these guys artificial stupidity.
They
How you worded that order.
they're more than happy to tell you everything that happened while you were gone.
Hey, you know what? As long as we fill up with vegetable oil, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm curious though.
Because actually, vegetable oil has like 80% of the fuel capacity of diesel, so we'll make it back just fine, no problem.
All right. You spend a couple of hours
Actually, ask them.
filtering vegetable oil and installing
Yeah.
something, a preheater or something, whatever you gotta do. Well, yeah,
I used to run it through a couple of levels of denim. Basically, you take 2 pieces of jeans wax,
there you go. You do all that.
straight into the tank.
So everybody else hangs around for a couple of hours while he's doing that with his minions.
Captain, I would love you to ask your minions how it happened because I'm dying of curiosity.
Okay, I relay the story while we're waiting.
While you're working, okay. So you talk to them, they tell you, and then you tell everybody else, right? Because
Yeah.
they don't have like verbal ability yet, if I understand correctly.
Yeah. Well, the teddy bear can roar, and Roger can say his name.
I've forgotten who's Roger.
Roger's the one that Erlang named. There was the bot that went and helped Erlang, and he named him Roger.
I'm trying to blank on this. Oh, it's just another bot, and just Erlang just called him Roger.
Yeah, I forget what was he doing even.
I don't remember. All right, it goes like this.
He needed a bot to help him with something, and he returned him and had named him Roger. Yes, so I gave Roger the name, the ability to say his name, so that he can go Roger.
Right then, what happened was they were on guard, making sure no one, bothered the crawler, keeping it nice and polished, clean glass. Your friend landed in her airplane, told them that she needed fuel and that they needed to give it to her. And they were like, well, they can only do that if you said to. And she said, oh, well, he did say to. And so you should definitely do it. And they're like, well, then we should definitely do it. And she said, and you'll be rewarded. And they said, we will be rewarded. And this is sounding a lot to Michael like the thing that he does.
Mm-hmm.
So, except Michael can't do it to these. So, No,
it's sounding like a lot like what I do.
It actually does sound a lot like what you do.
So who was the person who did it? Somebody we've met?
Yeah, no, this sounds exactly like what I could have done to her creepy dude.
Is this her that did it? The Hag of Crag Keep? Is she the one that took the fuel?
How would you know?
Yeah, let's get it.
They did not. They didn't know who the woman was.
Oh,
okay.
I imagine you can get a decent description. I'll show you a picture. Why not? This is what the description looks like. Well, it takes them a while because they're not very good at describing. But after a while, this is the mental picture that you get.
Amelia Earhart?
Holy shit, you recognize her?
Oh shit, yeah. Are you fucking Amelia Earhart?
So they're like 90% done with their description, and Captain Harrow says, Amelia Earhart?
Well, now we know where she disappeared to.
Holy crap.
Wonder what she's doing in the P40.
I wasn't expecting you to.
I am suddenly
I was
totally
expecting you to recognize
okay
it.
with giving Amelia Earhart 100 gallons of diesel fuel. This is okay by me.
And yeah, they filled up her plane, and when they were done, she patted them on the head and said they were good eggs, and then she got in the plane and flew away.
Okay.
Definitely sounds like Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, you know what, guys? All is forgiven. That's pretty cool.
I wasn't expecting you to recognize her.
That's kind of cool.
He only did it a little bit before I.
Oh yeah, no,
What
I've been to
happened to
her
her?
hometown. I've been to the place that she learned to fly. Yeah, I've been to a whole bunch of different Amelia Earhart places.
Wow. Yeah. As far as the P40, that came somewhat after her time period.
Right.
So,
Yeah, by decades.
yeah. So, presumably she didn't get here in that. I mean, get to this.
No.
She's probably found it since.
Sounds reasonable. All right, so you fill up the land crawler with vegetable oil and filters,
I am
and
very impressed and looking forward to meeting her. First off, she P40 run on diesel. I'm impressed.
and you
Second off, Amelia freaking Earhart.
you literally
As a navigation dude, Amelia freaking Earhart.
Captain Harris is talking like this, like the entire way back to Tranquility. So he's like, Amelia, you know, I saw her museum once.
I've met fanboys before. I know how they act. Yeah.
All right.
Well, if we find her, you can fanboy all over her as much as you want.
Oh yeah, no, you kidding me?
Okay, you generally know where you're going this time because you've been this way before. So you probably don't go. You probably go to less cautious speed than you did the first time, I'm imagining.
Yeah,
yes,
we
no?
try not to get attacked along the way. Absolutely.
All right, then still at a more cautious speed then. Which is probably pretty good because some of the landscape has changed since last time you passed through it. Like, you're pretty sure that after you passed this big bubbly thing, there was an area of lavender grass. Well, there's not lavender grass there now. Now there's crystalline trees.
Right, I update my charts.
So,
long.
No, I expect I will be able to develop a 4-dimensional map of this place and actually get some kind of reading on how the change storms happen through the thing. It's all navigation.
Okay.
It's keeping charts. Like, did you know that weather prediction started from the British Navy keeping records?
So at least this has distracted him from the Amelia Earhart thing.
It's all navigation. Oh, no. Amelia Earhart did some fantastic things with weather. Let me tell you about it. Yeah, okay. He goes off on that.
There you have a few like encounters on the way back to Tranquility, but we'll just kind of slip past those. It's a montage. There's a montage, and you see weird stuff, and you know, monsters attack you. But for the most part, you can just keep driving and shoot at them, and either you shoot at them enough to kill them, or you keep driving long enough that they give up and stop chasing you. So it's like potato. You have a feeling this would be much more dangerous on foot. Eventually, you get back to Tranquility, and you know that because you start seeing dinosaurs again. So that's fun. Drive up to the gate, and the people see you coming, and they open the gate, and everybody's like astonished to see you. It's amazing. Wait, you're back! Hey, you're back! Everybody, the Smith Gang's back! And
We roll up in front of Tandy's bar, and I say, piano delivery!
You find that where George, the bar... Okay, so let me see how to put this across. The bar has a new roof, but the roof also looks about 2 years old. So it's not the roof it had before. It is a newer roof than that has been made out of, lumber elsewhere in the town because,
Right.
where are you going to get it from? But the construction looks like it was about, weathering-wise, is like about 2 years ago. So,
Time's passing differently.
Possibly, we should ask.
It doesn't take you long to figure that out. From their point of view, you've been gone like 1.5 to 2 years.
Oh wow.
Okay.
But they're thrilled to see you. Hey, you're back. That's awesome. Can you fix the water pump thing?
And the hag will not be bothering you any longer.
Oh, we haven't seen her in ages. Ever since she took, they point at the piano. Ever since she took that, she hasn't been back.
We know. We corrected her.
Well, great, awesome. And then Tandy sees you guys, and she's like, "Wow, the cat's pajamas are back! Outstanding! Come on, guys!" So, Tandy actually will get the pieces of Georgie that were left behind, which are basically just pulled. The plugs are pulled loose when Sharon, stupid bat, smashed through the roof, picked up Georgie, and flew away with it. And anything plugged into it just came loose.
Yeah.
So
it's
all there.
Something just occurred to me.
What's that?
Yeah.
When Atalanta attacked the hag, she managed to get that shield up awfully fast, and I don't think she required a verbal component for it. We're going to have to surprise her.
I thought that was a surprise for her.
True.
You're going to have to double surprise her.
Her reaction time is greater than expected.
It did roll really well. But in all fairness, she
is getting her on our side eventually.
In all fairness, she is more powerful than any of you. Just so we're all clear on that.
Oh yeah.
She is more powerful than any of you. If you all gang up on her, I have no doubt you'll kill her within like 2 turns. But she may be able to take 1 or 2 of you out in the process. So just keep that in mind. So I imagine Captain Harrows spends a while hooking Georgie back up. True?
Until Georgie is hooked up, Captain Harrows works on hooking Georgie back up.
Yeah, Georgie plays nothing but happy music for days and days and days.
That's what you do for a friend.
Yay! Tandy's thrilled to see you guys. She has perfected the gin. She wants you all to try it.
She has
somebody from Prohibition America. You'd think gin would be pretty easy for her.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the rum. I am hunting for. Oh, we found another group of peoples. They are a long way away, but they may be able to get us things like pork and beets and some stuff that's been missing from some livestock.
Great.
I'll have to be talking to if Sam drops by. Let him know we found a new trading post for him this side of the haunted forest.
Fantastic. So you do a lot of meet and greet and catching up and that sort of things. Nobody has moved into the smithy since you've been gone. Jack has been keeping it going, doing things like repairing hinges and repairing door latches and things like that. And he's been able to keep the water purification, desalinization, and all that kind of stuff. I imagine you left like a minion or 2 with him or something?
Yeah, I left a little maintenance.
Yeah, so he and the 2, like, your oldest, first generation minions have kept the water supply going. And he's like a respected member of the town now. Yay! Yeah. So, but other than that, it hasn't been very eventful since you've been gone.
Good. In times like this, a boring year is a very good year.
Oh, and they trade with the people from Wangguo. They trade with them now. Oh, and Tandy shows you something. It's a bowl of what looks like kind of orange shredded bark. Is kind of what it looks like. Hey, I'll even show you some. She's like, oh, we get this stuff from them now. Check this out. It smells like fish.
Oh, okay, it's dried fish.
Oh, okay.
It's spiced, dried, shredded cuttlefish.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Really good stuff.
Considered a set food in Japan. Yeah. So impressive jerky store, no?
I actually like this. I got this like on a whim.
I got
I
some
like
for
this.
Eric when we were there, yeah.
I also got this. Ghost pepper.
Oh,
This is
good.
actually a little too hot for me. I was chewing on a piece earlier. Like one piece a day is like all I can do. I was chewing on a piece earlier, and I bent over to do something, and the saliva in the back of my throat like kind of went up into my sinuses, and for the next half hour, every fluid that could come out of a person's face was coming out of my face. It was just oh. So, what's that? And my other experiment is alligator jerky.
Ooh.
I was not a fan of the alligator.
It totally depends on how they do it. Now, I like alligator bites, the fresh stuff, and I think I've had alligator jerky that wasn't bad.
Yeah. Roasted alligator bites are really good. They're like kind of like skate wings. They, kind of like a low grade scallop. Is the best way to think of them.
Mm-hmm. I've had fresh alligator.
A good Chesapeake based skate wing tastes like alligator bites.
I've had fresh alligator, and I've liked it. But I've never had alligator jerky, so looking forward to trying that.
Did they have any batong?
They had like 1,000 different things. I only got 3.
Did they have sun-dried ostrich jerky? Batong.
I don't remember if I saw ostrich, but again, there were like 1,000 different kinds of jerky. There were dried scallops, which looked a lot like dried peaches.
The South African Food Festival is right off of 522 and 64. In toward Richmond from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Greyhaven Winery has it. And you can get some really good South African, like ostrich jerky. Really good stuff. I do like a good batong.
Okay.
So next time that comes around, if you're in the jerky mood, now you know where to get it locally.
Cool. I actually like the shredded cuttlefish. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. You can get that from a lot of the good Asian.
I'll be right back.
All right. Do we need to pause? Anybody need like a break?
I just took one.
Yeah.
It is 8:30, honey. Do you want to do snacks now as long as it's a break time?
Yeah.
Okay, break. So we are back.
All right, I did want to ask Michael a question if we had some time.
You have the entire trip back to Tranquility, and then hours and hours and hours while Captain Harris is hooking up stuff to Georgie.
Basically, I want to work with Michael on getting mentally attacked and building up better defenses against it.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that too.
Because the resistance power that I have turned out to be not useless against her attack.
By the way, there is one thing I would like to do, preferably immediately after turning her red eye guard upon her. I gotta steal that vroom broom. That is too cool. I need one.
It's still not ecologically safe. You're going to need a horrendous catalytic converter and muffler on the thing.
And you think you can do that?
Better if you wanted to.
Yeah, no. I'm sure I can retune it to not coal roll.
Actually, from when Erlang was flying, for the split second, Erlang was flying next to the vroom broom.
Mm-hmm.
When you damaged it and she lost control briefly and then regained control but she flipped a switch on it and the big clouds of black smoke coming out the back shut off.
Okay.
And she went pew. So apparently there's a switch for it.
Temporary. What did you ask me again, Lloyd? I didn't quite hear you.
I need to work on building up my mental resistance.
That I can help you with.
Yeah,
Basically, I need an excuse to buy the skill mental combat.
And maybe you can help me figure out a way to use the telekinesis as some kind of shield.
Oh, I've got a few theories on that.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna pour my tea on. I'll be right back. This is the quickie.
Okay.
I was just trying to provide in-game excuses for us to improve our skill sets and our powers.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you literally have somebody on the team who can help you with that, so that's very handy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and you need all the advantages you can get if you do plan to eventually kill her.
I don't plan on it. I just see it as inevitable.
Yeah, my roommate had come
I
in.
don't want to. It's that or send her back to managing her Toys R Us or Hot Topic or whatever the hell she came from. Or what do you guys think? Video store?
Management of a distribution company of some sort.
19. You said, I think she said 1970s, which I'm guessing.
No.
No.
When
I asked her when Nixon was impeached. She said 70s. That means she wasn't born yet. So she's probably like one of these 90s retail kids.
I don't know. That particular level of arrogance speaks to me of like video store or music store or something like that. Something with very little.
Oh, music store. Yeah. See, that's why I thought Hot Topic.
Or like I said, lower management of like the like first level management of like some branch of a distribution
video
center.
store. I'm guessing if it was a video
Sharon
store,
was the
that's where she got
cashier.
her B-level villain attitude from.
Sharon was a cashier, definitely retail. I'm gonna say mall.
I'm guessing
mall kiosks.
She's pretending to be a B-level villain. She probably was.
She's got at least 3 employees.
Oh, okay.
That's not kiosk. That's food court and up.
Well, one of them was a bagger, I think she said, so it had to have been a supermarket.
Stalker.
Stalker, sorry.
Oh, a stalker. Okay, so yeah, okay, music store, game store.
GameStop, yeah.
Hot Topic.
Walmart.
No, she'd be all over
more employees at a Walmart.
She's displaying far too much arrogance for middle management at Walmart.
Yeah, no. If it was Walmart, she was like a department manager and lorded it.
All right, moving on.
No, I'm definitely going with like the Hot Topic music store vibe.
So you get Georgie hooked back up, so his like peripheral automaton can sing accompaniment while it's pretending to play the player piano, and imagine you can actually just talk to it that way, right?
Mm-hmm. Anybody can talk to it that way, I think.
Yeah, and it's why don't you describe what that automaton would look like, Donald? Because I have a picture in my head, but I don't know if it would be even remotely correct.
It looks like a stick. You know those dancing stick figures where the dudes do the thing on their knee? And
yeah.
Okay. It pretty much looks like one of those in a bowler hat. Except it can do like the elbows thing when he plays the jazz and the ragtime. And swing music and all.
When you go to hook it up, you find that the featureless head has had a handlebar mustache painted on the front of it.
Oh, wow. I love it.
So,
you hook it all up. Give him a little soul patch, too, to complete it.
Yeah. So, everybody's happy to see you. You've been gone for a while.
Longer than we expected.
You
way longer.
Do maintenance on the town supporting infrastructure you set up before you left, and it's held up remarkably well. People ask, "Are you here to stay now?"
We have many things to do, and this may sound odd, but it wasn't as long for us as it was for you.
When you're busy, time seems to go faster.
We were really busy then.
All right then. So what you playing?
Take a look at that map.
Yeah.
Oh, let me take a look at my map. The
Well,
map
while
she
they are
gave you.
reading the map, since that's what they're good at, is I'll go back to the smithy and make sure everything is working well and catching things up there with the apprentice.
Jack, yeah. Well, he's been,
He's
running
learning.
things for a while, so he's feeling pretty confident about himself.
He's an upstanding member of the
Yeah.
city.
All right.
Well, I might just turn the smithy over to him if he's gotten good at it. Has he managed making bullets?
No. He has a workbench full of things he doesn't know how to fix.
Oh, I'll
So
show him.
he'd like you to show him how to fix those things.
Yep,
Like
I'll
the
do
coffee
that.
pot. It's the coffee pot, and it doesn't perk anymore. Wait, let me go back because I thought we were doing the map, but now we're doing Jack.
Well, I'm just
So
telling you, you guys, well, let Jack do that. This is what I'm doing while they're taking care of the map. Because I'm not good at maps, so I'm letting them do the map. I'll take care of town stuff, and you can go back to them then. It's
no,
all
it's fine. I don't mind.
yeah.
Role play with you for just a second. Yeah. So there's like a coffee pot. It's a old-fashioned percolator coffee pot that does not percolate, and he does not know why. All it does is the water gets hot, and then the coffee burns at the bottom. And that's not what it's supposed to do, but he does not know how to make it do what it's supposed to do. There's something in the middle part that's not working right. And he's got like a workbench full of odds and ends like this that he does not know how to fix. So if you could help him fix those things, that would be just swell.
Well, whatever involves
So,
smithing, I'll be able to fix.
yeah, you work with him on that. So meanwhile, these other guys are looking at the map, and I don't have a map of the area where you'd actually be going, but you do have this map that was sketched by somebody. I don't remember who. If you look at this and you see floating mesas, and then if you continue north, the orange mountains, which go higher than the atmosphere, curve away to the. I really wish I'd put north at the top on this thing because I can remember which way it goes. Oh, they curve away to the north. The wall is north. So north is to your right, down is east, up is west. So those mountains curve away to the north, and then past them is where the haunted forest and all that stuff is. It's basically straight up from Chickamaustock, which is the Aztec city.
Annihilation problems are relativistic effect caused by the maelstrom. The further we get away from it, the more things slow down.
It's a good theory. But if you were to look at the map, because the map she gave you doesn't show any of this. It shows Crag Keep, the haunted forest, the forest past that, and then some other weird landmarks. If the scale is what you think it is, where you'd be going is like directly above the M, up about as far as Lizard People is to Madlands, about that far up again above the M.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's
definitely west off map.
It's off. Yeah, it's west and off the map. Yeah, it's about as far from Crag Keep as you guys are from Crag Keep. It kind of makes a triangle, actually. So, and I'll sketch out a map of that sometime. I didn't plan ahead and actually do that. Sorry, but maps change anyway. So,
Especially with all these wild storms, yeah.
Kind of where you're going.
Yeah, no, I think that Erlang just came up with the critical bit of information about time dilation in relation to the maelstrom.
If he's right.
I'm going to include it in my charts.
All right.
Or, well, no, I am going to keep a set of charts where I keep that in mind.
I'm beginning to wonder if this Eye of Thor is the cause for all these storms.
Odin.
Odin, whatever. Yeah,
Eye of Odin, the source of all knowledge, the thing that he gave up in order to gain the ability to read and write, which, let's face it, granted his people immortality of a sense.
Okay, now here's a question. I'm a space Viking. How much do I know about Odin?
Oh, yeah. Anything you want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wotan, the Allfather, gave up his eye for the ability of his people to read and write and keep history, also known as the wisdom of the runes, which also granted them the ability to do magic, if you believe the old legends.
So, all that.
Which I'll eventually divulge to them.
May as well show you the sketch she's got of this thing. So I don't have a map. I can show you this. And again, it's more like a Leonardo da Vinci type drawing, but like that.
Looks like a holographic projector.
Yeah, but it's I guess it's what it's projecting that we're supposed to be looking for, right?
Honestly, am I the only one who thinks that looks like a target?
That's an excellent question. A target? Could be. Sure. Who knows?
It looks to me like a targeting reticle. We better be sure before we turn this over that this isn't like the destruction of all things.
No, I remember we were told that she wants to go home, or she wants to leave, or she wants to do something. And she said all these things can send her away.
Doesn't matter. We need to know what it does before we give it to her.
Well, step
or
one.
Or at least have a good idea what it doesn't do.
Step one, catch the chicken. So let's go fling the thing.
But I'll give you the legends of of Odin, as a background for whatever this could be.
Yeah. Now, personally, if she finds a way to go home, we could all go home and make a whole lot of money on this footage we got.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to give it to you before you leave.
You don't want to go home?
Nope. Wouldn't go home right now.
I'm honestly inclined not to either. I see much better opportunities here than there.
Michael Muller most definitely wants to go home.
I mean, there, yeah, I was a TV star. Here, I could rule a sizable chunk of this piece of land. Or at least arrange things so that I make a consistent profit off. Hell, if I can make some kind of recurring money here and then go away for a week and come back and it's 2 years later. You see what I'm saying? I'm not so inclined to go home either, just offhand.
Yeah, I find this place really
one hell of a set of footage.
I find this place really fascinating. Besides, yeah, we want to be able to send back whoever wants to go back, along with enough footage to blow and to set them up for life, or send them off to the the federal government. Federal government's makes you disappear. I don't know, but whatever.
Brandon.
Yep.
How long would it take me to fly to where the Eye of Odin is supposed to be? General location, not exactly.
That's an excellent question. Let's see. Because you are some kind of fast, aren't you?
Just a bit, yeah.
Like, what's your top speed?
7,800 meters in an all-out move, so 4,700 kilometers per hour.
God. Let's just say less than an hour.
Okay. All right. Well, while everybody else is getting set up and getting caught up here in Tranquility, I'll do a fast flyby of the area just to see if it's if the floor is deadly, if the floor is lava, or if the sun is a deadly laser, something like that, just to give us some idea what we're looking at.
Fair enough.
You're muted, Donald.
Brandon, if it helps, a friend of mine has calculated a planet that is flat and the sun's orbit around it. The problem is he calculated the surface circumference of the planet to be approximately 15 light years.
It's a big ass planet.
That's very large.
Basically, the surface of the planet sits on the event horizon of a micro black hole.
Yeah, how does this help me?
If you point a laser, 15 years later, it'll hit the back of your head.
Well,
for
thanks.
designing improbable things in space,
Okay.
like this place that we're in. I thought that might be an interesting little twist to add into it, that such a thing is possible.
Well, that is definitely odd. Okay, I'll give that some thought. What am I looking for? Is this it? No, that's not what I want. Is this it? I don't think that is either. This'll work. I'll use this. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted either. Poop. Yeah, I'll go with this. All right. What does Erlang see? There are weird things. There's a tornado made of different colors of light, and there's other weird ass stuff. You pass a nose the size of an amphitheater.
Nose.
A nose. Like if the person is buried and the only thing above the ground is their nose, it's a nose the size of an amphitheater. It's enormous.
Made a rock?
Do you go look?
No.
I'm not sure.
All right.
Look.
I refuse to be distracted by errant noses.
That's weird.
When we come back, we'll drop Michael off. You can check it out.
There's you pass. I gotta show you this because wait, have I already shown you this? Because I don't know if I have or not. So if I have,
I was gonna say, yeah, avoid because there is a non-zero chance of a sneeze.
Have I shown you this before?
Yeah, I think you have.
All right, you see that?
No, you hadn't. Thank you.
And now I can never unsee it.
And it too is just huge. Like you could fit like a 10-story building in that opening in the bottom.
Could you stop showing that picture? I can't look away.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's trying to eat my brain.
Well, the funny thing about it is, as you fly past it and look at the back, no matter what direction you look at it from, it looks like this.
Right.
So as you're flying around it, it kind of looks like it's rotating to face you, except it's not rotating. That's simply what it looks like.
Brandon,
Later.
Nebraska or Illinois?
Hell if I know, man.
I've driven across the country a lot and seen a lot of weird stuff, and that looks like either some Nebraska or some Illinois shit.
That I'll believe it. You pass an area, and the way the landscape changes, you'll be in an area, and you can kind of see ahead of you a bit, and then all of a sudden, to the left of you is for example, a desert that stretches far past the area you came from, but you didn't fly over it. So that happens, and it smells like cinnamon. And you see a couple of like small stone buildings in that area, and you fly past that. And then you hit an area that the first thing you notice is like the smell of burning plastic. And then the ground has large pools of Sialume green liquid, like glowing green liquid. But not like fresh Sialume that's bright green, like a dim Sialume that's been here for a while and it's fading, but it's not quite out yet. And fogs over the ground, and huge buildings that are all destroyed in some fashion or another. Some are just like smashed to pieces. Other ones have like big broken pieces and are leaning over. I'll give you a picture. And there are plants, but they look like twisted and sickly. Not like malevolent sick, like struggling to survive sick. They don't look like they're going to eat you, the plants. Anyway, there you go. Like that's a great big mushroom-shaped building that's leaning over so that like one edge of the mushroom that used to be up above the ground is now on the ground, and like it's like kind of canted because the whole thing is like kind of crunched sideways because it's not being supported up and down anymore, and that's not the way it's designed. So anyway, that is the third large tilted building that you see that more or less corresponds to the direction they're drawn on the map that you were given. The big kind of mushroom-shaped building we see here. So there you go. You don't see people, you do see animals. Or will you assume the animals? Okay, let me rephrase. You don't see humanoids or humans. You see quadrupeds running around in small groups.
All right, and how big is the building?
It's as big as like a large office building. Like the center part is like 1/3 of the overall width of the mushroom-shaped structure above it.
Okay.
But in the same sense as like the next generation or Enterprise starships, you can kind of see windows. It's got like windows all around, you know, but and big chunks pulled out of it or broken off of it. It has this whole area looks like it was bombed, basically.
Okay. All right, then I will fly back and report to everyone what I have seen.
You're freaking people out. Well, anybody normal who hears you gets kind of freaked out about it. Like, why would you go there?
Cool. Whoever said I was there.
Then what?
Then I wait for everybody else to get their shit together, and we can all go out there and take a look.
Do it. I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go work.
No, Donald's the driver.
Okay.
I imagine you pack
Guess
food
off
and
we
stuff.
go.
Replenish provisions. Speaking of provisions, the alligator jerky's okay. It's actually, compared to the weirdness of the other two I got, it seems fairly normal. It's just jerky. No, I mean it's just like normal jerky, pretty much.
Yeah.
Very
Like
chewy jerky. Hard.
Yeah, alligator is kind of chewy. Like I say, it's a whole lot like skate wing. Alligator tail and skate wing are real similar texture meats.
Yeah, because it's so lean, it does end up being very that's why it's so tough.
Which is, it's kind of like that's what jerky sea scallop would taste like.
I was going to compare it to turkey jerky because it doesn't really have the fibrousness of beef.
No, I could definitely see alligator being turkey jerky because it's got that little bit of sweetness to it too.
This is also like teriyaki flavor,
jerky,
so
which would be buttery and herby.
All right, so you get into the land crawler and you head out, right? Everybody waves.
Oh, how much time passes between me coming and going?
Yeah, I didn't have the time to like set up like a permanent power source with one of those power sources I found or anything.
You give them at least enough
For
time
what?
to do that.
Besides, they won't know what to do with it. They don't have any power.
No. For us, convert the crawler over to nuclear to permanent power.
Solar or.
No. Remember, I got those 3 power cells from that ship that each have the power to run like a city for 1,000,000 years, kind of thing. or whatever it was. I remembered it was some order of magnitude more power than we would ever use.
I do remember that from one of the crashed spaceships.
Yeah, I got 3 things that would power anything forever, basically.
Well, anything you're likely to run into anyway.
Yeah.
So John Erlang takes off. Say
I'm just saying, if it's going to be a long crawler trip, I'm definitely converting the crawler.
Okay.
And if my bots hear from Amelia Earhart, give her my cell phone number. Tell
Almost.
her I want to be in touch. It's all good. I just want an interview.
Around 5 hours later, John Erlang comes back. From John Erlang's point of view, is about an hour.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, mention that to Captain Harris just to give him some idea of what the time differential is.
Can you fly the same distance past the maelstrom and back real quick?
I'm willing to bet it's going to take me about 5 hours. So
I'm willing to bet it's going to take you considerably less because you're going toward the maelstrom for some of it, and then less far away from some of it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And so if it takes less time than it is centered on the maelstrom.
Actually, I'm kind of curious now, so I'll fly towards the maelstrom and see what I'm curious as to what it looks like. I flew around it the last time, so.
Yeah, give it a wide berth. I'm considering it like, if we can get our time straight, that might correct all of my maps, and then I can make 4-dimensional charts for navigation. But we need a center point for the dilation. So yeah, we're thinking on that.
All right. You fly what you think is about the same distance past the maelstrom. You can't really fly over or through the maelstrom. There's no top. It just keeps going. It goes higher than you can.
It's a tornado rather than a 2-dimensional object. Yeah.
Right. You can fly around though, or diagonally or whatever. If you fly too close, you start feeling you're being sucked, and this is like 100 miles away. You start having to fight against it.
Huh.
So, but you're paying attention, so it's not a big deal. So, and you come back, and for you again, it's about an hour, because it's like a half hour each way, we'll say, because you were just stupidly fast. You get back, and you've been gone around 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, cool.
You're right. Time dilation centers on the maelstrom. The maelstrom is the source of the change storm.
Yeah, I don't know really like cosmology, but it sounds almost like the effects of a black hole. All right, interesting academic information, but that still doesn't get us any closer to the Eye of Odin, so I guess we should try concentrating on that.
Yeah, agreed. But it updates my charts.
Good for you.
I am now building 4-dimensional charts taking into account the time dilation because I now have data on that. And then I have Pro from Dover navigation, and I spent the damn point. I'm going to use it.
All right.
So I'm developing 4-dimensional charts that are probably going to do us absolutely no good in this game, but it will be fun to have. Especially if I ever run into Amelia Earhart. I am going to impress the hell out of her.
Okay, fanboy.
Hey, you got to have goals in life. That's one of mine now. Now that I know she's here, I want to impress her.
Fair enough.
Okay, so. Oh, that'll work. I'll do it that way.
And
Pro from Dover.
I am now constantly looking for Amelia Earhart.
This is. I'll let you know if she flies by. This is an academic question, so it would definitely be under the Pro from Dover thing. if you are trying to calculate distances and making sure your measurements are correct, you need to take more than one measurement. So
absolutely.
I'll give you that for free because you got profit over. Well, not for free. You paid for it. Hey, sweetie.
Oh,
Kitty.
yeah. No.
You send Erling back out flying around?
Which kitty? Oh, you got the little boy.
Oh, that's Sebastian, yeah. See? Say hello.
Where's
There
that
he is.
little boy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, hello, Sebastian. I'm so sorry I didn't get to cuddle him when I was there, but he was like run-offish.
He's very shy around new people.
Yeah.
More than Vixen.
He was such a sweetie when I was there when he was a baby.
Hmm.
I need to go back and let him get used to me because I really liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Susan likes him too. So let's see.
I'm not gonna have Erlang like do 4 or 5, do like many runs right now just to settle this in.
Nope.
But as we do things, I'm incorporating it in my charts, and so my charts are going to develop from all of those different data points.
Okay, cool.
Now. And I can probably even backdate that. Now that I've got a center point, I can probably backdate that through this last trip on the charts, which is why I kept accurate charts the whole way.
Oh, I was trying to think of something to do.
Because I do have 3 points of time dilation. I have his trip there, and our trip there.
Yes, you do.
And so I distinctly have time dilation numbers from 3 points. So,
all right.
Yeah.
You cruise along.
Background stuff, though. We cruise along. We find something.
You don't get attacked by I mean, you do get attacked by dinosaurs, but you can either shoot at them or outrun them. Like once you figure out how to deal with something, as long as the situation doesn't change drastically, it's not a big deal for you anymore. Yeah. So, like if the crawler broke down, for example, in Dinosaur Town, dinosaur area, you'd be kind of screwed. But as it is, not a big deal. Find along, and then you cruise along, and it goes from cartoon dinosaur land. Basically, everything's kind of orange and bleak and just scrub and weird primitive trees and ferns to African veldt, like grasslands. And you see lions over there, and you see gazelles over there. So.
Okay, that's interesting.
You didn't see that the first time.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm adding it to the chart, as always.
Atalante could run off and kill a couple of gazelles and bring them back, and you guys could, when you camp for the night, you could have a cookout.
Barbecue. Yeah.
Totally up to you.
Let's have some barbecue.
Hey, I'll go hunting. There's no point in surviving off our rations if there's plenty of game around.
There appears to be plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you park while she does that, or do you just let her catch up with you? Because she can run kind of fast.
I mean, it's Atalanta. I'd love to be helpful to her, but she doesn't need it.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna go play.
Okay. Captain Harrows and Atalanta make survival rolls based on reason.
Check myself.
Okay.
Reason is 3, 6, 11.
Near enough to nothing because I don't have survival status. 6.
Okay. Atalanta, he runs off. You guys continue driving. The veldt gives way to primeval forest, but rather than...
Okay, hold on. We're not going to change biome without the whole crew.
Yeah, I'm not going that... I'm sticking close by.
Yeah, we're not going to change biome. We know this place.
All right,
shit.
so,
We're not
so you stop in the veldt, and you can see the forest. Although it does seem to like appear rather suddenly in front of you, But it's not like it wasn't there, now it is. It's more like it was ahead of you, and you just got to it much faster than you thought you might.
Maintain radio contact, report in, start the rendezvous.
She comes back. She's got a gazelle or two or whatever she wants to go kill. Crisis averted.
Set up a barbecue on the back deck. Pass around drinks. I'm sure Tandy restocked the kegs.
Oh, the gin is actually pretty decent.
Oh, fantastic! In that case, gin and tonics all
It
around.
doesn't taste like gin, I take it.
Oh, sorry, what?
Yeah.
I said that it doesn't taste like gin, I take
Well,
it.
no, I meant if you like gin, it tastes like tastes like gin. Is what I meant by decent. I personally don't like gin, but
Yeah, no.
but it tastes like gin.
I
She had
personally can't stand gin, but Captain Harrow's other self, Harold Johns, the Spark from Albia,
Mhm.
was a Briton, and so he loved his gin and tonics.
All
Captain
right.
Harrow's is a solid rum and grog kind of guy. And so the gin and tonic thing is kind of weirding him out that it actually tastes good to him. What he really, really wants is some good rum. But he'll make a gin and tonic because the other memories liked gin and tonic.
You guys, before you all like vanished, your first trip out where you rescued a few people who got kidnapped by ant people.
Yeah.
On that trip, you discovered a plant that has like a sweet core, and you brought back samples of that.
Yeah.
And in the 2 years since then, they've from time to time been able to go out and get it. The problem is it grows really slowly, and it's not that common. However, Tandy did have just enough to get a flask of rum to give to Captain Harrows. Because I'm sure he's mentioned in passing more than once that he wishes they had some rum. So you have
take a sip.
you've got an earthenware jug of gin and a tin. It's tin, not stainless steel. A tin flask of rum.
Rum. I take a sip of the rum. Is it even close to passable?
It's not great rum, but it definitely tastes like rum.
Does she let me kiss her?
Do you ask first?
No.
She puts up with it.
I think this one has rum in it, too.
Yeah. I go ahead and kiss her.
She puts up with it.
You're a miracle worker.
Thanks.
Captain Morgan's.
It's not quite as good as Captain Morgan's, and it's not spiced. It's just plain rum.
No. It scratches the itch, if you will.
Okay. Well, you get the distinct impression the way she stiffens and just kind of waits until you're done kissing her that you don't scratch her itch.
Yeah, no, that's.
You kind of get the impression that men in general don't scratch her itch, but that's another issue. So anyway.
No. It wasn't that kind of kiss. It was the.
Oh, like a friendly kiss, like a hugging a kiss on the cheek kind of thing.
No.
Oh, well, that's fine then. Yeah, okay.
Not the oh my god I want you in bed kiss. The oh my god I love you for that kiss.
All right. Well, she's a fun and easygoing person, so that works fine. Never mind.
Yeah,
so,
the quick peck, the you're a miracle worker.
That's fine. That's fine.
Not the I want to mate with you kiss.
Moving on. So, let's see what else is going on.
I just want to make it clear how much that means to a sea captain to know that rum even exists in this world.
Well, don't waste it because that's hard to come by.
I know, but it exists.
Okay. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, so you're gonna
most
fire up a barbecue on the.
It's weird that I like it, but occasionally rum.
You're gonna fire up a barbecue on the flatbed of the crawler. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, on the backside.
Are you continuing to drive or what? What's the deal?
Yeah, the crawler drives. Machine control. If you need me to roll for it, I'll roll for it. But...
Roll for it. Let's roll for it. Why not? see. The default difficulty is 3, so I'll roll 2 dice, add 3. 11. Got an 11?
18.
Awesome. The crawler comes to a stop
Okay.
in the big primeval forest, and there's like not paths exactly, but the trees are big, and there's lots of spaces between the trees that have like ferns and plants and things. It's unnaturally picturesque, like something out of Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Has the crawler come to a stop because there is no path?
No, crawlers come to a stop because there's an obstacle it does not want to run over.
Okay, let's go check that out, guys.
Okay, you go look. You don't necessarily all have to go look. So, you find a male person, man, sleeping, like nestled in like a bed of ferns, covered with cobwebs.
Like
He's
been
breathing.
there
He's
that
not dead,
long, huh?
and he's not like webbed up like Frodo in with Sheol. Sheol.
Right.
That was the name of
Shelob.
that spider.
Shelob.
Shelob. Yeah, it's not like that. It's just you can see him. He's laying there and he's breathing, but there's cobwebs like across him. Hey, kitty cat.
Like a blanket.
Like time cobwebs?
Hard to say.
Let me guess. Long white beard?
No.
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 Okay,
Clean shaven,
so
in fact.
Not Mr. Van Winkle.
Clean shaven. And dressed like he's somebody from a Renaissance fair.
Likely not Mr. Van Winkle unless the book got it wrong. Okay. I think we ought to help this guy out, see what he wants, because he's laying in the middle of our path.
Fine, you kiss him.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'd invent a kissing machine first.
I'd let you invent the kissing machine first.
You don't know. You hadn't seen him yet. He might be a looker. Come on, let's check him out. Okay, so we climb down and check him out.
He's asleep.
Looks like Renaissance fair guy. We clean away the cobwebs.
Oh, stop. Get off that. Get off that.
Anyone want to like check his pulse or something?
Yeah, I've got EMT skills, Brandon. I'll check and see if he's still alive.
He is sleeping deeply. Oh, this is actually almost a perfect picture of this guy. Wait. Or should I use that? Oh, man. It's always such a hard decision.
You know what? Edgelord was off his rocker, but the hag might be onto something. Not with, like, real people and fictional people. Not like the PC.
Oh, here we go. Looks like this guy.
Kind of thing.
Clean shaven, looks early 20s, and it's just like this guy.
Has anyone ever read the book Silverlock?
Yep.
I have.
Okay.
I can barely
Where I'm going?
talk, Brendan. Make the picture bigger.
Oh,
What?
You click on Brandon's window down below to make it full screen.
Mm.
Yeah, just click on my box at the bottom.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And then it's full. And then it's full screen until you unclick the box.
Or I will be when I unshare.
Oh my god! Okay. For a second, I thought that was David.
If he's just deeply sleeping, Brandon, pop an ammonia capsule under his nose.
Oh, since you're examining him closely and stuff, you can see he's got like a rucksack in the ferns just sitting next to him. And there's like a thin web of cobwebs over that as well. And just to the right of his right hand is a leather mug. But he's not holding it. It's like it fell out of his hand when he lay down. That's kind of what it looks like.
Hold on, I gotta look and see if this power exists.
What power is that?
Some kind of like time sense or time.
There's two different time powers.
Sensory version of time control, time travel. I
That's
just
kind of
want to see if
plot
one
power.
of those has been used.
I don't think that's really in your repertoire, or at least not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna work on that because that would be really useful right now.
You snap open a whatever capsule.
Ammonia capsule, yeah.
There you go, ammonia capsule. And the guy wakes up. He's like, oh, what? Forsooth. Because cobwebs.
They reek, yes.
He's like, what? What is this? Who
Prithee,
are you,
year,
strangely
my
dressed
good
people?
man. Prithee,
Where'd the fairies go?
prithee, my good man. The year.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a year, but it's probably going to be off by like 500 years because I have no idea when this outfit is from. So
I'm guessing 16 something, 15 something maybe.
wait, when was Shakespeare from? When was that?
Late 15s, early 16s.
All right, yeah.
Late 15s.
It is the year of our Lord 1580, or it was. You were strange and garishly dressed.
Indeed, my good man. 'Tis been a score of century and more.
He like looks down, he picks up his leather mug, he's like, I lost the drinking contest. So what year is it now? How long have I been asleep?
Your pack's over there.
Oh, thank you. He picks it up, he looks at it, he says, You aren't highwaymen, are you?
Hardly.
Not in the sense that you think. I'm a fisherman.
Yeah, that would not be the same thing at all. Well, I had the poor judgment to have a drinking contest with the fairies, and apparently I lost, and they put me into a sleep spell.
Oh, you lost more than just that, my good man. 'Tis been a score of decades, a score of centuries, perhaps.
Truly.
Never drink with the fairies. That's always bad.
Who's the king now?
There is no king.
Yeah, Elizabeth last I
There
heard.
is a king in England still, our queen.
Yeah, you're right. Elizabeth.
Oh.
Elizabeth last I heard. Crowned in the year of our Lord 1940. What was it? 47? 52? Something like that?
19?
No, we're actually from 2019.
Yeah, she's like
Bones.
53.
That was when she was crowned, right?
Oh, Elizabeth is our queen. And as he gets his hope up, I say, crowned in the year of our Lord 1953.
Yes, I think she might actually beat Victoria in how long she rules.
Yeah, she has.
Ah, yes.
You wouldn't be
the longest.
You wouldn't be jesting with me, would you?
I do believe she is currently the longest reigning monarch ever.
Yes.
She's going into
You wouldn't be jesting with a poor minstrel, would you?
Nay.
I let them. I tell the crawler to go ahead and rev the engine once and just.
He scrambles and hides behind a tree.
What's your name, good sir?
Take cover! Take cover! The monster's going to attack!
The monster is my servant, good man.
Yeah, he was just playing with you at this point.
What's your name, good sir?
Miller, Henry to my friends.
Why are you guys all talking like you're in a Ren fair?
Because he's from the Shakespearean
He is. Actually, if you were literally from the Shakespearean era, you probably couldn't understand a word he said.
It's not that far on.
But we're kind of glossing over that, so just kind of ignore that. So he's talking like somebody from Ren Fair.
Okay, I have to say, go on YouTube, Shakespeare in the original pronunciation. It's not that far off, but oh my god, it's a hell of a lot dirtier.
Anyway, he says,
there were 2 or 3 levels of jokes that happened in the pronunciation that we don't get reading it.
Oh, because linguistic drift had caused the pronunciation to change.
Yeah. Shakespeare was a way bigger genius than your English teacher ever thought.
Okay. Miller, my Christian name is Henry. My friends call me Henry. So,
Well, that's handy.
um,
I
well,
am Captain Harrows, captain of the vessel, catcher of the great Kraken, the sea monster that threatened 1,000 ships.
well, that
This
sounds truly impressive. I shall have to hear your tale.
this
As
is
we,
Erlang,
well,
slayer of 10,000 beasts, and shall I go on with his titles? They would last an hour or more.
well, surely I'm in no hurry. I've slept for 300 years. I can stand and listen for a few hours more.
I look to Erlang.
I've cut it down these days to just True Lord, Immortal Sage, and General of the Celestial Armies. Otherwise, yeah, it does take a while.
Yes, that's the informal version, of course.
To fast forward just a little bit, this guy is in literally no hurry to do anything whatsoever.
We
Right.
load,
What's the
we,
drinking
we,
contest
we
with the
ply
ferry?
him.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, we ply him with booze and food and load him on the truck and keep on moving.
It takes some convincing.
It's a horse and it's a wagon without the horse.
I
It
got a
is
question for you. In the
What?
1500s, what was Ireland called? Was it still called Ireland? You know?
Hell if I know.
Yeah.
Ire?
As far as I know, it's still
Yeah.
Ireland, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
that's
think it's
what
been
that
Ireland
would
for a
be the
good
way
while.
that Michael would introduce himself. He didn't introduce himself as Michael McLaughlin from Ire.
Right, all right. He seems to be a friendly guy. He's
Mhm.
not stupid,
Yeah.
but and he's a little superstitious.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
imagine so.
Yeah.
and at some point, he'll realize that Dr. Annan's a woman who's dressed like a man, and be scandalized briefly. But then again, he says, "No, no, no. You know, I am in the theater after all. We are trained to be open-minded." Uh,
Have you ever heard of Amazon? The Greek tales of the Amazons.
Hippolyta. Yes, it's one of my favorite stories. Would you like to
Yeah.
hear it?
Did you ever play Hippolyta?
Me? No, no, no. I'm a musician and a traveling minstrel, bard, sort of person, a storyteller by trade.
Well, let's just put it this
I
way.
was currently on my way to Thropshire. Is that the way you are headed as well? On your marvelous device?
I'm afraid that Thrapshire no longer exists on this land.
Good heavens. Was it the plague?
Among other
Um, it's been more than time travel, good sir. It's been like
The
the
fairies have
fairy have put you someplace totally different from Earth.
yes, the fairies have spirited you away to another land.
Good heavens.
Yeah.
It's not France, is it?
Oh no!
Oh my God, no!
At least with France, you can get better.
The
All right.
wine would be much better if it were.
Yeah, this guy actually serves no useful purpose. It's just,
No,
he's,
no. Yes,
he's just random weird thing you ran into, so.
No, he serves a very good useful purpose. Along this journey, he is going to compose our theme song.
And then we'll find a nice town to leave him in.
He,
Yeah,
he is an
He will
extremely.
sing of our legends. We are we are TV presenters. We are performers. This is our version of performing. This is our version of the TV show.
What's that? It's a very skeptical. Eh. All right, what else you got? All right, as you. Wow,
Can we find him a nice town to leave him in?
you haven't passed one since you left one. So, just in general though, he's a affable, generally kind of likable sort of guy. Not a genius by any means, but he's actually not stupid. I mean, once you explain what the crawler is, he knows what a machine is. He's seen machines. He's seen water wheels. It's just a very, very complex machine, right? So
it's like a Catherian mechanism.
I don't know what that is, but I'll just take your word for it.
The clockworks of the great Greek temples, as told by Pluto.
That he's familiar with. So yeah, no, he totally gets it. I mean, he doesn't totally get it, but he accepts it as a thing. And the food smells wonderful, and the company's pleasant, and he's an extremely patient listener.
Which
And
is to be expected of his
A bard. He's a bard.
yeah,
So,
and
Yeah.
also the time period he's from had no TV, had no internet. He's not really in a hurry to do anything. So he'll listen to you as long as you want to talk. Cruise along through the primeval forest for a while.
He is our version of YouTube.
Yeah.
We're putting out our trailers right now.
Yes, basically he's the 1500s version of the internet.
Right. So we're going to cart him around, putting out our information, using him for propaganda purposes
and for entertainment.
I mean for advertising purposes. Entertainment. That's the word I was looking for.
Oh my God! I wonder if he can be taught to play the piano. He'd probably love Georgie, or Georgie would love him.
Oh, he would love a piano.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Georgie
Georgie
would love
could
him.
teach him.
All right. After a while, you guys are drinking whatever you're drinking, and he'll be happy to share whatever it is you're drinking. Your fine liquors he extols.
He has an instrument with him. Does he want to put that he can
Parley
play?
Jameson.
Yeah, so you're all like hanging out in the back. The crawler's rolling along, doing his thing, and it stops again.
Okay, we go check it out. See what's caused the. See why it decided to pause.
Ah, here you go. This is close enough.
Leslie, what's your time? It is 9:45.
It is.
Yeah, that's cool. We're good. We're good till 10:30 as usual.
All right.
Okay.
There is ahead of you. This creature is about chest high on you guys. Like the shortest of you, it's about chest high. However, you don't see it. The land crawler communicates, however it does that, to Captain Harrows. It stopped because there are two creatures, and it describes this, building the thing that is in front of it at this time. And the thing that is in front of it appears to be like a half-finished pit trap with spikes at the bottom.
Pixies.
Oh, I think some fairies have laid a trap. Who wants to go check it out with me?
Be careful. It's probably a pixie. They're nasty sorts.
From the description, wings and everything, looks like they're building a pit trap.
Ooh. They're nasty little things.
Is it big enough for the crawler to fall in?
No.
Then I wouldn't worry about it.
The crawler could actually just drive over it. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it stopped because there were living creatures there doing it. That's why it stopped.
Yeah. There are pixies building a pit trap in front of us. Do we just want to roll over? And I mean, I'm gonna at least honk the horn.
You were talking about Shakespeare earlier. Have you ever read A Midsummer Night's Dream? Don't screw with the fairies, man.
Oh, you definitely don't screw with the fairies.
Henry says, don't challenge them to a drinking contest, and don't accept if they challenge you.
Don't take anything they offer you either. That's a bad deal as well.
I give the order. Proceed.
Okay. Crawler drives forward.
Yeah. If we accidentally make some fairy paste, so be it.
Hawk first, though. At least give them the courtesy. Dang.
Crawler drives forward. No, nothing terrible happens, and but just as that area goes out of sight, You see one like peek around a tree and like shake its fist at you. All right.
It's better than getting involved with them.
Definitely.
You'll end up with a donkey's head or something weird like that, man. I'm telling you.
Let's see what else I can throw at you.
Although I do regale the fellow of some of my fisherman's tales. As long as he's a patient listener.
Oh, he's a very patient listener.
Okay. Only about 1 in 3 ends up being a complete Shaggy Dog story. Like it ends with a pun that started with the first line. You just didn't get it until then. You know, but those are the good ones.
Okay, you hit the edge of the primeval forest, the fairy forest, we might even call it, and then it starts looking more like suburbs. Like there are houses, and there are trees, and there are yards, and there's a road, and there's sidewalks, but everything looks like it's been abandoned a couple of decades ago. So everything's in disrepair. The grass is grown up really thick in the yards. There's potholes are called by traffic. It
Like
doesn't matter.
40s houses, 60s houses, 80s houses?
40s, 50s, 60s. So.
Okay. Cold War houses.
Sure.
Track times.
There you go.
Cold War track times. Gotcha. Maybe a few contemporaries.
There's some wildflowers blooming in the yards that have, like, rose bushes have gone crazy. And you're kind of like cruising along on a road now. It's like an actual road. And after you're cruising along for a few minutes, you start to see in the streets behind you people like walking slowly into the street.
Like zombies?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
I was just about to say that, Leslie, and you beat me to it.
See, I was hoping they were friendly, but I suppose we're going to keep going now.
I didn't say they were unfriendly. Yeah, they're
Oh,
not running. They're not, brains. They're just kind of walking around and into the street, maybe when they heard the noise. And as you drive along from the houses next to you.
Give them a little scope. Go ahead and check out what's there.
They seem not hostile, just dead and walking around.
That is good enough for me. I don't want to give them a reason to get hostile.
How dead are we talking about here? Like still bloody, or like origami beef jerky monsters?
Yeah, if they were looking questioningly, maybe we could.
No, they're blank expressions.
If they are looking dead, then we're going to just keep going and hope they don't follow.
No, they're blank expressions.
And if they do follow, we fire up.
They do seem to be kind of attracted by the noise, but not in a purposeful way, just more in a general, I'll stagger in that general direction.
How long dead do they look? I mean, they look older than...
Beef jerky monsters? No, they're some of them are missing pieces. They've clearly been around for a while, and there's some that like have one of their feet has worn away, so they're like limping really badly because they don't have a foot on that side.
They're looking like they're about as old as this village is.
Ragged. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're like Fallout style ghouls, but like the feral ones, not the ones that talk.
I haven't played that, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. They're creatures. They're people who, for some reason, when the atomic bombs dropped, the radiation turned them into the undead zombies, and some of them kept their minds.
Wow.
And a lot of them are known as feral ghouls, and they didn't keep their minds, and they're basically what you'd think of as fast zombies. But some ghouls actually kept their minds, and, Oh yeah, I hid from the blast. You know, I remember the last 350 years.
Exactly.
Well, if they can't outrun the crawler, then there's really no point in worrying about it.
They can't.
Yeah, I don't
They can't.
really care which they are. That's just my first thought.
Suddenly, and without it, there being it seems to sneak up on you. Like 1 minute it wasn't there, and there's a. It's not like this. It's not all of a sudden. It's hard to describe. It wasn't ahead of you, but then when you notice, the road is getting covered in like a reddish brown sand, and the houses are getting less common. And within the space of 15-20 seconds, you are now in the middle of a vast reddish brown desert of dunes, like movie desert. Not Southwest desert, but like Arabian desert, big dunes. Except
Yeah,
the sand is reddish brown.
Keeping up with the charts.
Oh, and it smells like cinnamon.
Okay.
Well, there you go. We got some cinnamon for your rum.
I include the cinnamon smell in the charts. Hey, the Polynesians used to navigate by the differential between the migrating birds and the winds as they related to the stars. I'm not gonna give scent as an unimportant thing in navigation.
All right. So
You never know. You never know. The cinnamon dunes might end up being a good nav point.
could be.
You realize if I can actually like 5-dimensionally map this place, I'm rich.
Who would pay you? Where are you going to get paid from? But I don't know. I think
from the pirates.
Okay.
Who we haven't met yet.
Right, but I know they exist. I assume they have some form of currency.
Oh, this is cool. I'll do this. In the distance, not directly ahead of you, but off to one side. So you're not going straight for it, unless you choose to. Off in the distance, you see some rocks poking up out of the desert with what appears to be a stone building.
Interesting.
But it's way off to the side.
Okay, I am going to let our archaeologist tell me what culture that's from.
Do I recognize it?
No, it matches known historical culture you're familiar with.
Okay, hell if I know.
Okay, I'm
Another planet.
The Hag is not 100% wrong.
I guess.
Poor Brandon.
No, I'm fine.
No, I'm thinking the Hag is not 100% wrong, maybe.
What am I?
I disagree with her outlook, but not her data.
No, I'm pretty sure that a lot of these things have been
Brandon,
in real places.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I'm just browsing the web. Just killing time while you guys talk.
No worries, I have yarn.
So, question. Well, wait, which one was that? Kieran, which one is that you're making now?
Oh, I'm making a dragon fruit egg.
That's pretty weird.
Dragon fruit with a dragon. That's a dragon egg.
Brandon, the after the Hag basically rolled time back after we had originally killed
Orson?
Orson, yes. Did we still have the items from when he had died?
No.
Ah, damn it. Okay. Of course not.
That never happened.
Of course. Just want to make sure.
So, cruising along over the dunes, the crawler, we'll say it's still making pretty good time. So, you don't head for the stone temple, and that kind of goes by, because the crawler's pretty fast. It's not as fast as half of you guys, but it's still pretty fast. this is kind of interesting because you see it appear slowly as it rises from the horizon. It's an enormous nose.
Oh yeah, that's the nose I told you about.
Does it look flesh and blood or does it look stone?
Well, through a telescope or whatever you're looking for, hard to say from here.
Mm.
It's kind of the same color as the sand.
Are we being forced to the base, or can we cross at the bridge?
What?
I want to aim for this part of the nose, not this part of the nose. Not the septum, the bridge.
Well, if you continue going the direction that Erlang told you, it's like 20 degrees off your course. So you'd have to actually aim for it, and in which case you could aim for the bridge of it if you wanted to.
Are we going to the septum side or the bridge side?
I don't see as how there's much of a difference. You're the one driving.
I do if it sneezes. If it gives off a Mach 5 sneeze, I don't want to be on the septum side of that nose.
You'll pass it. You'll pass it on the nostril side, but if it's as large as Erlang said it was, you'll be miles away from it when you do.
Okay.
It's huge. You can still see it, but
I'm just gonna trust that it's not gonna sneeze on us.
No, that'll be me.
I'd be more worried about what it's attached to if it's a living thing.
No, that's just the level of caution I put into plotting my courses.
But you don't investigate, so you don't know.
North Atlantic and South Pacific fishing.
Eventually, the desert,
storms are a bitch.
The cinnamon desert, you pass a sign, a weathered sign that points off to your left, but you can't quite make out what it's written on it because the letters are so worn away by the wind and the sand, and there's nothing in that direction that you can see. And then after that...
Tipper, take a look at the sign with my hyper acuity.
Ooh. The arrow points off to the left and says, "Danger, don't go this way."
I'll tell Captain Harrows he probably ought to update his map to indicate that.
Okay, I draw a sign on the charts. Also,
yeah,
don't go that way.
Good to know. You eventually get...
Is it pointing to the nose? Just in curiosity.
What? No, it points away from the nose, actually.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we specifically take a route that does not take us that way. Because if somebody
going,
will leave a big sign, we probably ought to follow it.
I saved that thing and now I can't find it. Darn it. Oh, there it is. Found it.
I didn't release my thing.
I found my thing.
By the way, honey, these maple candies are really, really good, aren't they?
The cinnamon desert eventually gives way toward lush but sickly and scraggly. I mean, it's everywhere, but it's all struggling to survive. Underbrush.
Not its
and plates of metal that the brush has, over the years, has kind of what's nature do when people leave? It reclaims the land.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except the land in this case appears to have been paved with large metal sheets, and a lot of them are buckled, and then there's big pits that are full of kind of a faintly glowing green, who knows what, and there's like fog that does not rise up to the level of the flatbed of the crawler, but rises a good couple of feet off the ground.
Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and give one of them a scratch with a machinist file and get a hardness rating off it.
What, the metal plates?
Basically, what kind of metal is it? Are we talking aluminum, steel, or titanium?
This is what it looks like. And okay. I'll get to your question in a moment. And as with the transition to the desert, you don't actually see it change, and it's not abrupt exactly. It's just you were in the desert and now you're here.
Right.
So anyway,
and I'm noting that, and I'm keeping an eye on our distance from the maelstrom and my projected time dilations.
Okay.
Because I think that may have something to do with this.
There are lots of buildings that are just, or what you assume are buildings, are just basically now they're just big metal ruins and skeletons of buildings that used to be buildings, and you pass 3 big buildings which are mostly intact and tilted over. First one's shaped like an egg. Second one's shaped like a set of pylons with bridges in between them. The third one's shaped like a mushroom. And it's leaned all the way over, and there's pieces broken off. You heard me describe Deloitte earlier.
Yeah.
Is there a demented face drawn on the side of it?
No. However, there are animals of some kind moving around, and the crawler is not quiet. So you get the attention of some, and they look, as they get closer, like this. Let's take a look at these. And as they get closer and see that there are people in the crawler, they go from like a curious walk to an actual run as they are running toward the crawler.
Go ahead and pick one off at 200 meters.
Holy smokes.
Like the lead one so that everybody sees it.
Range. Hang on a second. This was blast, right? Where's range? Range. Come on, man. For fuck's sake. Range.
There we go. Poorly.
So,
yeah,
blast.
17.
Okay, so this is like a long-range blast. Blast is normally up to 100.
No, it's a regular blast, but I have sharpshooter.
Ah, all right then, that works. So you're rolling against one of these guys. They are running full out at ya. Let's see what they roll.
And I'm zeroing in on the lead one so that everybody sees it.
And which roll total?
17.
Oh, Jesus. All right. There's a group of like 8 of them running full tilt at you at this point. You can see them in your eyeglass. And actually, people can see them. 200 meters isn't all that far.
Yeah. That's not
so you sight in. And what's it actually shooting?
It's just a plasma blast. It's Megatron. No, this is with the pistol. This is Megatron. This is just
and it hits the head one and hits it in like innards, just kind of spray, and its right arm is like held on by sinew, and it just tumbles end over end.
That was gratuitous.
Yeah. Well, he rolled way better than the ghoul did. So I'm calling them ghouls. They're not actually undead. They're living creatures, but they look like ghouls. So what the hell?
If they eat human flesh, they're close enough for me.
Well, they also eat ghoul flesh because right at that moment, there were like 8 of them. So now there's 7. The 4 that were closest to this one, like, Ouch! And they start eating it. So.
Anna, you're up.
Yeah.
We can kind of skip ahead. It's okay. Unless you really want to roll dice. Because if you have...
I'm a sharpshooter too, but I'm not shooting anything like plasma. I'm just shooting bullets.
All right. Well, the thing is, if you've got range on them, and because they don't have ranged attacks, so if you get range on, and they're not anywhere near as fast as you guys, so they run like human speed, fast human speed, but human speed. So it's if you see them coming in and you've got time to pick them off, they're not a big deal. It's only if they actually get to you that you're in trouble. So you manage to do that. Of course, the noise attracts other ones, but whatever.
Eventually, they're fed.
Eventually. The problem will be when you get to where you're going and stop.
What does what was his name? Henry?
Yes, Henry Miller.
What did Henry make of that?
He'll. I think he's just like that.
Okay. I just
speechless. Henry's speechless.
We've got an Elizabethan musician with us, and I just pulled out an ion cannon and blew away a ghoul like it was nothing.
Doesn't know what to make of that. Now the problem.
I tell him the future is a very strange place.
The thing is, while you're traveling, you can keep distance from them and continue picking them off as more groups of them come toward you. When you stop traveling, you may have more problems. So, what's your plan for that? Do you have one?
How much fuel do we have left, and how long is it going to take me to make a converter for one of these power cells?
Well, you got plenty of fuel.
Okay, in that case, yeah, they'll get tired. They're biological. We're not.
Yeah, but you're never going to run out of them. There's always going to be more.
At some point, we gotta stop and go into that building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured we'd leave the biome eventually.
No,
this is where you're going.
Oh, this is where we're going. Okay.
Yeah, Erling just pointed to it.
I made a mistake.
Over there. At least you think so.
Isco, want to find out? Go over there and find out how these things react to fire. Maybe a firewall would help.
Firewall. Like a little firewall? Yeah, I can get that try.
Like a fire wall.
Yeah, I can get that try. So I'll get that. I'll try that with my ultra power.
Cool. Let's see what power that would be.
Barrier. I think.
It was called barrier. It's not called that anymore. What's it called now?
Oh, isn't it?
Let's see.
I don't remember what I called it.
Is it just like an element wall? Elemental wall.
Yeah, element wall. That's right.
Yeah.
It's element wall.
Yeah.
So it is literally fire wall. That's what the power is. Thank you. I drew a blank on what I called it. 100 range power. You can make geometric shapes. The fun thing about it is you don't have to attack them. You just have to roll to successfully create the shape.
Yep.
So.
How long is it?
Anywhere within 100 meters of you.
Well, right, I understand, but how? I mean, I understand.
Usually until end of scene.
What are you doing? Oh, you mean duration?
No, I mean, like 10 feet, 30 feet, 100 meters.
100 meters.
How long is it?
Well, 100 meters that way, 100 meters that way. It's not this.
Oh.
It's the shape of it is what makes it difficult, not the size you're in.
You can make a circle 100 meters around us.
Can it move us?
Right? I mean, Brandon, I know that's really abusing the word of the rule. Is that in the spirit as well? You can make a circle 100 meters around?
Yeah.
But can it be moving with us?
So yes, you can make a circle 100 meters around us. Of fire.
Right. Yeah, but can it be moving with us?
Or whatever fraction of that arc you want.
Normally it just stays where it is.
Okay.
but you can, make it and then drive from one side to the other, and then make a new one, and then continue driving. You like that? Like have it leapfrog you,
We don't really need the thing until we stop, though, so there's no
Right.
point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to answer their question.
Or if they're following, they just make a, like
Okay, I'll play with you. Jesus.
30, 50 meter long section behind versus chunk, and then they run into it and make another one.
Mhm.
If they're following us.
Or you can make a tunnel. You just go through a tunnel. But
Well,
in
yeah,
any case,
sure.
it's only up. Your max range is 100 meters. So
Cool.
eventually, you get to the fallen over, bombed out, tilted building. What do you do?
I suppose we're gonna have. Well, how tilted over is it?
Like 45 degrees, give or take.
Well, set up a firewall around it. We'll walk inside.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say.
Well, it's bigger around than 100 meters. But you could make one end of the wall go up against. Oh, and this goes back to Donald's question earlier. So you could make one end of the wall go up against the metal, and then go around you to the other end up against the metal. That's not a problem. The building itself at the base is bigger than 100 meters, so you can't just go around the building. But it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Donald, your question earlier on the building materials, which appear to all be metal, on the Mohs hardness scale, or whatever that was. I think it was Mohs when I took material studies. Yeah, it's around, the stuff you're driving on is like HY120, which is very hard steel.
Yeah.
The kind of thing they make submarines out of. And the building itself, the shell of it is around just normal common steel, like not that different from the best that you currently have available in Trinity. Right. Whereas the girders that are the skeleton of the thing are harder than you can test with your current equipment.
Okay.
I mean, they're not indestructible, clearly. I mean, they got bombed to hell. You could damage them. You just don't have the testing facilities to determine their exact strength. They're really, really strong. So now what? You're stopped. Got a wall around you.
Okay. So we're obviously looking at like stainless steel rat era buildings, not something from our time. And yeah.
Haven't read stainless steel rat, but I'll just say yes.
Okay. Is that the idea is that, rats were plentiful in the times of wooden buildings.
Oh, come on, kid.
And then as buildings became concrete, rats became less plentiful. And in the stainless steel era, only the smartest of rats can survive. Now, rats are a metaphor for the criminal.
Okay.
Stainless steel rat is the smartest of the criminals.
I get it.
Anyway, go ahead and do some.
Basically, Harry Harrison writes Harry Line.
Alrighty. Isco, as long as you don't change your ultra power to something else, you can just kind of maintain that firewall. And you can hear ghouls hitting it from the outside and howling as they hit it. And they really want to get in, but they really don't want to get a burn. So
Yeah. I'm gonna say eventually they're gonna be smart enough to walk away.
Will they? Will they?
Okay, wait.
An open question.
At a 45-degree angle. How far up can the crawler roll?
I like maybe like until its back wheels get on it, and then at that point it's just going to slip on the metal.
Oh, okay.
What did you say, Lloyd? I'm sorry.
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
No, I want to hear what you said. It's so important.
I just said that I was going to disembark and start looking around the perimeter of the building.
All right. Well, the part of the building you're at, I assume you go to because there's a big-ass door there. It's
okay. That makes sense.
a large transparent section with smaller transparent sections that appear to be doors. And as you walk up to them, nothing happens because the building doesn't have power. But it is clearly a door, and it's got words on it. And who's got linguist?
Me.
And me.
All right. You don't understand the language on the doors. However, there is a symbol on the doors that is relatively universal. It is a great big red cross on either side of the doors.
Looks medical.
Looks like do not enter.
Not X, cross, like this.
X. Oh, okay. Medically.
I need the Knights Templar live here.
Knights Templar of the future!
Or they're inverted Swiss.
All right, well, sorry, I seem to have suddenly inherited it.
Yeah, Sebastian's driving me crazy too. I play with him for a while, then he'll put it in his... Oh, he's doing it now. Then he grabs it in his teeth, and he proudly walks away with it and drags it away. And then he brings it back, and then we start over again. Does everybody get out of the thing? Henry Miller gets out of the thing with you. Because he's not staying there alone. She's got a hell of a bow. Michael's got one hell of a flintlock. And I don't even know what the thing that the good captain has, but I want to be behind it rather than in front of it. So, yeah, here we go. Some kind of light, a cannon that shoots light.
Energy, actually.
Like motion?
Pure energy.
Like vim and vigor?
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, everybody gets out and walks up to the door. What do you do? Oh, Captain Harrows and Dr. Anna can, with minor amounts of difficulty, figure out that the symbols are... Oh, and actually Isco can too. They are distorted so much that it's not immediately recognizable to everybody else, but they're Chinese symbols. It's a hospital.
Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, no. Erling would too. Damn. Like, the only person who wouldn't know it is Michael.
Yeah.
You've seen, like, fonts that are so distorted that they're hard to read? It's like that.
Yep.
But once you figure out that, oh, wait, that's Chinese, you can make out what it's actually saying. And it's a medical facility 492, and then it's got some other stuff about its specialties and so forth.
Okay, go on here.
You've got to, like, move the windows, doors open, well, the glass doors open. Not hard to do. It's not a secure building. It's just a building. Start roaming around. It's apparently a hospital. It looks on the inside like a high-tech hospital. It's got what you expect. Big, round desks where someone would sit, and charts on the walls or signs on the walls that tell you where to go. Of course, they're all blank now because there's no power. And it's dark because there's no power. So you do whatever you gotta do, make light, flashlights, or something Captain Harrows whips up with floodlights everywhere.
Yeah. I was going to say environmental control. I can bring the sun with me.
There you go. Automaton sits on his...
The hag is lucky because I had a storm all built up. I had started my ion generators as soon as we saw the place.
Okay. But instead, you've got an automaton sitting on your head, and the automaton is holding a floodlight.
Yes.
Or, just seems the kind of goofy thing you do. So
probably like one on each shoulder.
There you go. You roam around for a while. Are you doing anything particular, or are you just exploring?
Looking for the Eye of Odin.
It takes a good while. You're in there for, I don't know, it's not as big as Crag Keep. It is a large building. It is not a supernaturally large building. So, roam around.
If I can grab any technology, I'm going to, by the way.
Okay.
I haven't given up on being a scavenger yet.
You pry a big LED screen off the wall or whatever.
Well, just, anything that could advance my science.
All right. As it happens, you get to the radiology department. And this is way more advanced than most of the stuff you've passed in the hallways, because most of medicine is not particularly new. It's all basically just very, very refined things that have been around forever. They're just made much better. Syringes have been around forever, that kind of thing. Get to the radiology department, and there is a sign, ODIN. And it says what it stands for. It's like optical dynamic imaging neural network, something. But Odin.
Oh, I bet you it's another thinking machine.
Well, yeah, pry open the door, which again is not a security door, so it's just a matter of brute force. You get in, and it looks like an MRI type setup, except instead of like the great big donut, it's simply a bed, and over on side there's a great big round platform, and that is connected with cables to a console, and there you are.
Wow, I wonder what she can do with this.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk to it and find out how it works.
Lucky for you, you brought some power supply things from the crashed spaceship. Somebody waits around while Captain Harris jury rigs this thing, powers it up. It is about as smart as a smart thermostat.
Okay. It's definitely no Georgie.
It's not an AI. No, it's not an AI. It's a machine. Okay.
Just as I'm going along, I announce out loud, just randomly, well, it's definitely no Georgie. Okay. And then I keep looking.
What are you looking for?
What does it do?
It is an extremely high-resolution holographic display.
What does it display? What are its sensors?
Currently, it's configured to pick up whatever data the bed thing gives it.
Okay, but it is just a display.
Hmm?
It's a 5K TV monitor, dude.
More like a 64K TV monitor.
Right.
It's a holographic tricorder, it sounds like.
All right, well, let's see about unbolting this thing from the floor.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, what does the bed do?
It's basically a medical scanning bed.
I take notes.
Okay. Well, you haven't run into any monsters inside the hospital yet, so presumably you could just make a few trips and carry some whatever shit you want out to the crawler until it's full.
Yeah, I suppose that's the plan, but we're not going to assume it's going to go that smoothly.
Let's start with Odin.
So you get the Eye of Odin.
No, this isn't even Odin. This is just the Eye of Odin. Odin is the bed.
Well, Odin's the whole thing, actually. But, yeah.
Odin might not appreciate us taking its eye.
It's not a person. I mean, even by your definitions, it's not a person. It's a machine.
Apparently, she just wants a really high-tech display screen.
Yeah, no, I want the bed on the crawler, though. I want to take
the whole unit, okay.
I can make something out of that bed.
The drawing she gave you does not include the console, does not include the bed. So
definitely taking the console then.
Yeah, for us.
Console's where all the smarts are.
Anyway, start unbolting the big thing from the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You long story short, it takes you numerous hours, but you disassemble everything without damaging it, and unfortunately, you can't get it through the door, so you wind up having to damage the walls to get it out because it's wider than the door.
And I'm getting to the end of the
I know, we're at the end of our rope here. So,
okay.
we'll say you are currently figuring out the logistics of taking this thing and getting it
through
down the hall.
Cooperative hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll build a cart real quick.
The problem is it's big, and the hallways aren't this big.
I've got minions.
That's all right. We've got somebody like Kinesis, and we don't really care what happens to the hospital.
Yeah, we can disassemble the hospital.
I think the brute force method will work. We just have to make sure we don't collapse the building on top of ourselves.
Oh, just like make a big tunnel to the outside of the hospital and just take it out.
You're going to have to be careful it doesn't open us up to the ghouls.
Yeah, no, as long as we don't go through any load-bearing beams, we're fine.
Alrighty then. We're going to wrap up now. So, because people got to go to bed. Include me. Okay, so... Ah, damn it. Every time, man.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Why is it not playing? Not responding. This has been Pirates of the Mesozoic. Oh, there we go. Hooray. Craig Smith. Donald Von Griffin. Kieran Torres. Leslie Denneberger. Lloyd Montgomery. Me, GM Brandon Blackmore. Thanks for coming, everybody. I hope it was fun. And
it always is.
I hope the Hag of Crag Keep was not a letdown.
Oh no, she was exactly what I expected.
She's turning out to be quite entertaining.
Yeah, no, it would have been a
Probably we're going to have to kill her.
She was a B-level villain, which is cool.
There,
Wow, cool. When you put the dragon in it.
oh, there's the opening right there.
Okay. Cool.
So a dragon goes in that?
It's a dragon fruit. It's somewhat egg shaped, so it's going to be an egg.
Yeah, dragon fruit.
An opening.
Oh, I see.
Rather than trying to put a dragon in.
Oh, cool. Do you know if you're coming up the second and third, Lloyd? Oh, I'm stopping recording. Bye-bye, everybody being recorded.